if you never rode west of the Arizona border, you can turn the other way, boy, but you never get far. You've been living a lie. If you want to see the wonders of the age, you must follow the evening star. Evening star, shine a little heaven on a stranger with no dreams. Where you are, you can see the loneliness I mean. And if I got
Welcome to another episode of The Grindbin. I'm Mike Wood.
I'm Bobby Trippett.
I'm Michael Tanner.
And today we're talking about 1984's Blastfighter.
Why do you want to drink out of a baby bottle?
Hey, Bobby, I got the money.
Dad, I made the tea! But you're a hooker.
Get that goddamn thing out of your mouth.
I don't know. Smoking got no real rhythm.
Hello, Mr. Man.
We're gonna play a little game, baby.
I just love fun and games. Get a little girl all hot and horny.
This is Los Angeles.
How the hell would women live? I'm horny.
And maybe Daddy wouldn't have had to kill himself because he couldn't get it up anymore.
What a shame.
It's for jacking off.
Come on, just step on the gas before we get creamed.
So Blastfighter, would you think an appropriate title for this movie?
He fights and he blasts.
you
I'm
know-
on board.
Saab Q can have whatever title he wants.
Well, it's because this was originally thought of, it was going to be a science fiction movie, and they kept the name and the gun, and the rest of it was changed. They hired a new man to rewrite a script, and it then became Italian Rambo in the Woods. That's it.
It is interesting because, as we'll get into shortly, the gun is unnecessarily overpowered.
Oh, it doesn't fit this movie.
He's got fucking Judge Dredd's gun.
Yeah, exactly. A gun with like all sorts of like gadgets and everything like that.
Yeah, it's and maybe I'm doing this too early, but it's like a normal movie that takes place grounded in reality, but the main character has a gun from Smash TV.
Yeah.
Or he just keeps grabbing power-ups and...
Yep, because it was supposed to be a science fiction movie. Actually, it was supposed to be Mad Max in the Woods, and then they didn't get the funding for that, so they're like, well,
All
now
they had
it's
was the
just
woods.
Saab Q in the Woods. Yeah.
Which is really
take it,
bizarre.
though.
So was it supposed to be sci-fi Mad Max
Yeah.
in the woods?
Yes, it was going to be an unofficial sequel to Mad Max, where he's like, you know, kind of...
In
where
the woods.
Where you do, you know,
With a
basically...
sci-fi gun.
Yeah.
Which is the next logical progression in the Mad Max story.
And they're like, well, we can't afford any of that shit, so can you, like, I don't know, give him a daughter or something?
So that,
Give him a
that current
sweatshirt.
movie, Kin, is just a remake of the original Blastfighter script?
Maybe.
Cool.
I would like to find the original Blastfighter script, and we'll produce it for Grindbin Pictures.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
here we go.
Grindbin
to follow
Studios
up,
West.
King Frat 2.
Yeah, King Frat 2, that will be our next one. Otherwise, maybe, Tanner, you could turn it into a comic.
I'd
That
do a
could be
comic.
fun. Yeah.
Let's make Blastfighter Origins.
the original Blastfighter Origins. Oh, God,
We're
I
just
love
going
it.
to keep you employed for Grindbin Comics.
Yeah.
You got to
All I
adapt
wanna
everything
do.
we cover.
The film was shopped, though, as Deliverance meets First Blood, which I
makes
think
sense.
is accurate. Yeah. It's got a little bit of both.
Okay, yeah.
The crew, guys, he's pretty prolific, but has not been on the Grindbin yet. The director, Lamberto Bava, as John Old Jr., is what he was credited as.
And that was John Old Jr.
John Old Jr. was his credited name on this
Clever.
movie.
That is a really good name.
I did
like
not
a
know this was
mobster
Lamberto
name.
Bava, though.
This is a Bava movie.
It's Bava.
That's awesome.
You thought it was just John Old Jr.?
Yeah, I was like, man, I'm a fan of John Old Jr.
No, it's a Bava movie,
And his father, John Old Sr.
which is actually on my I have a Region 2 DVD of this because I don't know if it exists in America. There's a Blu-ray and a DVD, but I believe they're all Region 2. This movie is very hard to find, but everybody, I know a lot of people that have heard of this movie and know about it. Tanner, you said you've always seen the poster for it.
This was one of those movies where the VHS box is like burned into my memory. Like like along with like Angel 2, where like that
Yeah.
poster or that VHS box, I remember like seeing that on store shelves and at my local rental store.
But now this is notoriously hard to find. But it does say on the DVD cover, it says Quentin Tarantino is quoted as saying Bava's best film, which I was like, that's a hard take considering the other stuff he's done, which we're going to get into.
It's a little less hard to find now. Apparently, Ronin Flicks has a Blu-ray out of it.
Oh, great. Well, there you
It
go.
is currently available and on sale for $25.
Hey, pick it up, listeners. So here's the thing. This was actually originally going to be directed by Fulci.
A Fulci film.
This was going to be a Fulci movie, and then he backed out to make another movie in 1984, but it's in Italian. I can't pronounce that. So, but
so was Fulci attached when it was Sci-Fi? Mad
yeah,
Max
I think
in the
so.
Woods?
And then they're like, well, we can't get Fulci, so just get Bava.
Was Fulci just like, if there's no Sci-Fi, there's no Mad Max, and there's only Woods?
Not interested,
I'm
man.
not here for that.
Not interested.
I'm gonna go make the Italian movie.
Yeah. So Bava, though, has 33 credits as a director. Macabre in 1980, A Blade in the Dark, 1983, Devilfish in 1984, which is a Saab Q movie, one of his other 4 movies he was in.
We're going to cover all of Saab.
We're going to get to Devilfish. Demons is probably his most famous picture that's made,
Fantastic movie.
which is why I thought it was weird for Tarantino to say that Blastfighter was his best movie. I'm like, really? He's so well known for Demons.
Tarantino was
But-
drawn a line in the sand.
Yeah. You'll Die at Midnight, 1986. Demons 2, 1986, because everybody needed a sequel to Demons. And then Delirium in 1987. And then he kind of trailed off to do TV movies and some TV shows in Italy. However, he did just make a new movie. It's called Twins, and it stars Gerard Depardieu. So that's...
And Danny DeVito as
Man.
actual real-life twins.
What a duo.
Yeah.
I
Wow.
like it, Tanner. Pitch it.
I'm going to do a comic book.
Okay, so apparently in an interview, Bava said, the story came to him while he was reading a newspaper in which an article told how in American national parks, the game wardens were worse than the poachers and were selling off the animals. And then when he went to America to shoot the movie, he realized that these parks were, quote, made more for men than animals. Nobody could care less about the creatures. And though no animals were hurt deliberately during the production of the movie, the shooting being stock footage, which you could never tell.
Yeah.
Right? A young deer died of heart failure whilst being moved in a cage. So that's a sad one.
That is sad.
Crew lunch.
I didn't want to know that. Jesus Christ.
Put it over the fire.
Venison.
get one of
It's
those-
delicious.
Flaming barrels.
It's not gamey at all.
Oh, God. So, yeah. The writer of this movie, there's many of them, but 2 of them, Luca de Rita as Luca von Riet. Only credit. And the other one, Massimo de Rita, right? So I guess they're brothers.
Massimo.
Yeah.
I have his shirt.
As Max von Riet. Yeah, he now makes shirts. You can buy them at Target.
Yep.
They're high
And
quality.
only at Target.
Yep.
Exclusive brand.
Yeah. He has 70 writing credits. Obviously, almost all are in Italian, but there are a few that are in English, and I'm going to read off a few to you. Rome Against Rome, 1964. Here you go. Ancient Rome is attacked by zombies.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, I wish
know.
it was ancient Rome is attacked by modern Rome. Who will win?
Whoa, man. No, I like the idea. I was like, man, I've never heard of like a Caesar versus zombies movie.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I'm down for that. 1970, Violent City, which is a Bronson movie. It's him and Joel Ireland. 1970, he wrote the movie Compañeros. 1973, Chino. He went uncredited for writing that movie, but it's also a Bronson and Joel Ireland movie. 1973, Blood in the Streets. 1974, Street Law with Franco Nero.
Nice.
It's directed by the Bronx Warriors guy,
Yeah.
Enzo. Our boy Enzo.
Man, I am so on board.
You think he was also mad when Franco Nero never came back to another movie?
I have a
Fine,
feeling.
fuck you too, Franco. Fuck you.
It wasn't quite the same.
her singing in Camelot. Oh, that was Irish. That was doing like a weird
Hey,
Irish
hey,
thing.
hey, hey.
Oh, I'm the director of the Italian movies. I love the Bronx Warriors.
You can do that. I'll do the Italian guy. So
Oh, it's me, Mario.
Good
Pizza go.
here's another one. 1975, he wrote a movie. It's called Go Gorilla Go.
Yes. Yes. A
Which-
million times yes.
That's what I was saying, Tanner. I'm like, hell yes. But from what I could tell, there's no gorilla in the movie.
Because it had to go.
Is that what they said? Everybody, they're like, where was the gorilla? He's like, he had to go. Yeah.
It's like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. No tigers, no dragons.
That's
They
true.
were crouching. They were hidden.
Sure.
I stole that joke from Steve Martin.
And then in 1980, he wrote The Puma Man, which I'm sure
Wow.
we all know about Puma Man because it has a Grindbin All-Star in it. The guy who got his dick grabbed in Evil That Men Do. He's Puma Man, I believe, right?
I think so.
Yeah. The guy who got his dick grabbed in Evil That Men Do. He died by the most embarrassing way possible in a Charles Bronson death, but he's Puma Man, so it all made up for it.
I thought you meant the writer died the most embarrassing way.
No.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah,
boy.
no, we
Head stuck
we
in a
won't
can
get
of
into that
beans.
part. It was actually a gorilla.
Oh.
The cast, Michael Saab Q, we don't need to talk about Saab Q because we talked all about him in our Escape from, or what is it? Escape
Massacre
from
in Dinosaur Valley.
Massacre in Dinosaur Valley. He plays Jake Tiger Sharp in this movie, which is the most badass fucking name ever for a cop.
It is pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Valentina Forte, who plays Connie. 12 credits. This was her first movie. You could never tell, right? Great performance.
I find it's really hard to tell with the Italian actresses because they just yell every line, no matter what.
I was thinking
the movie
somebody's
is.
like, maybe the next movie you'll learn about range
Yeah.
because we don't need to keep it at 11
Yeah,
for the whole
horse's
movie.
ass. I'm just going to do an Irish accent for every voice this episode.
I love it. Yeah, I think you should. 1985, she was in Cut and Run, which is eventually going to appear on the Grindbin.
Coming soon to the Grindbin.
Because we're not doing Cannibal Holocaust, but we'll do his other movie, which is Cut and Run.
I like this plan.
Because Cut and Run also has George Berryman in it. Or Michael Berryman, sorry. I'm thinking George Eastman. 1986, she was in Body Count, and that's also a Deodato movie, just
It's a
like Cut
decent
and Run.
slasher flick.
And the rest of her stuff was just all Italian movies that I can't pronounce the name of, and nobody's going to listen to me try to. So that's it. George Eastman, though, is in this movie, and he is a Grindbin All-Star.
Yes, he is.
However, we did not talk about him.
You skipped him entirely.
So I have plenty of information about George
Fantastic,
Eastman.
because he's had quite the career.
And he's a Grindbin All-Star for the Bronx Warriors.
He is.
He is
Leader of
a-
the zombies.
Yep.
Dresses like Shona from The Last Dragon.
He is a legendary B-movie actor and
Mm-hmm.
writer from Italy. He has 44 writing credits.
This isn't
And,
even the only Lamberto Bava movie he did.
No. There's other ones, yeah. But here, we're getting into some of the ones he wrote. Interesting.
Let's see if you can pronounce the really famous one.
Oh, boy, I don't even know if I wrote it down. If I couldn't pronounce it, I don't know if I wrote it down. So you might have to add that one in. But here's one, Bobby. Have you seen 1976's Dog Lay Afternoon?
I've not seen Dog Lay Afternoon, no.
He also directed this movie, one of the 3 movies he directed. Are you ready? A young girl witnesses her mother having sex with the family dog.
Oh, God.
Well,
Is this a Bobcat
Wow.
Goldthwait film?
guys, you don't know where it's going to end up because it ends up in a much weirder place.
Impossible.
When her father finds out, he burns the dog alive.
What?
Hold on, we're not done.
Can we be?
She is so traumatized by these incidents that she later turns into a nymphomaniac. As you do
Of
when you see
course.
something like that happen. She moves
Happened to
to
Tanner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can only fuck burning dogs.
Yeah. Tanner, notorious dog burned nymphomaniac.
See a dog on fire, gotta fuck it.
Yep. All the time on the freeway in LA, you'll hear about the infamous burning dog fucker, man. It's Tanner, everybody.
It's me. It was me all along.
Aw, son of a bitch.
In his cube car and everything, he just hops out.
I like the headroom for fucking burning dogs.
Yeah, it's great. You bring him in the car now, so it's not a scene.
We've gone down an alley here, fellas.
Okay, but this movie, she turns into an nymphomaniac, then she moves to an island and lives there with her own dog, having sex with various guests who visit her. It's a porno.
Human guests?
Yeah. Yes,
Okay.
yes. Yeah, no.
This isn't Isle of Dogs?
No, it's like Isle of Dogs, but then
If
with,
everyone's having
with
sex.
real bone. Like real men
Ugh.
boner. Yeah.
Guys, I'm
Yes.
leaving the show.
Which George Eastman wrote it, Bobby. It's not like Tanner and I wrote this. Tanner just lives it.
I just live it. 24/7,
Oh.
364. I take Easter off.
Well, you know, that's...
It's
Are you
the
looking
Lord's
for
Day.
burned rabbits that day?
Yeah.
Or? Okay. 1976, he wrote... is this probably the one? Kioma?
No.
Okay.
That's
That
easy to say.
Has Franco Nero.
It's a Western.
1979, The Great Alligator. Tourists on a tropical island anger an island god who then turns himself into a giant alligator and stalks them.
All right.
Fantastic.
Yeah, they had it coming. Oh, here we go. 1980, The Erotic Nights of the Living Dead.
Ooh.
Which is,
Ooh.
you know, the other nights that they had. You know, the sexy nights. The erotic nights. He wrote a lot of, like, Emmanuel movies, or he was, like, in a bunch of them, and I'm like, how come there was never, like, an Emmanuel of the Living Dead? You know?
That'd be good. They should
Emmanuel
do that
versus
now.
the zombies.
Yeah. 1981, he wrote the real classic Porno Holocaust, which we all love. You think that's readily available, or?
Oh yeah, I think I saw that in Best Buy.
Yeah. This is one of those Italian movie packs.
Yeah.
Cannibal Holocaust, Porno Holocaust, Nazi Holocaust, they're all in the same pack, you know. So, the wonderful movies the Italians made during the late 70s and 80s. Very adventurous with their cinema. And to think that they got mad about Cannibal Holocaust, and then what else came out of that country? Nazi exploitation came out of that country.
Yeah,
And you know,
Italy's
they were
fucked,
on
man.
that side of the war, too, which is a real interesting thing that they would get into making exploitation movies about it. Take a sip of my coffee. We'll just let that one
gonna
Oh,
sit
you
in
have
the air.
coffee? Oh man.
You want some coffee?
No, I'm good. So wait. So what's the movie with the title?
Anthropophagus.
What?
Anthropophagus, in which he eats his own guts.
Oh, George Eastman?
Yeah.
Mm.
It has a sort of sequel called Absurd.
Oh, yeah, I did write about Absurd on
That's
here.
Anthropophagus 2.
Oh, okay.
And Absurd is insane too.
It's
you get
absurd.
The part in Death Wish 2 where the girl lands on the wrought iron fence. That happens to him in the beginning of the movie, and he like pulls himself off the fence. 'cause
And he goes,
can't be killed.
lunch. Then he starts eating?
Yeah, it's pretty insane.
Yeah.
But do go on.
Did he do all this because his dog got burned, or?
Yeah, I think so. I
Okay.
think that's what it all comes down to.
I think that's for some reason a running motif in his writing projects. 2020 Texas Gladiators.
Yes.
He wrote that movie, and he's uncredited as the director of that movie. It's one of his other 3 directing credits. 1987 Stage Fright, which I think is one that you really like. Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, Stage Fright.
I love Stage Fright.
And 1990 Metamorphosis, Metamorphosis.
He's also he
Directed
also
that one,
stars
too.
in the original Rabid Dogs. Have you never seen that?
Have not seen that.
Which was remade recently. Both the original and the remake are great. He plays a kidnapper.
Uh-huh. Let me just make sure.
Which was it's credited as a Mario Bava film, but it was finished by Lamberto. Mario
Oh.
passed away before the film was finished, or it was like a forgotten film that was finished by his son later.
Oh.
Awesome movie though.
He has 60 acting credits, so he's been plenty more acting than writing. 1983, Warriors of the Wasteland, which is like some sort of... Isn't that the one that's like the offshoot of Bronx Warriors?
It's the third film that Enzo made.
He's also in 1983's 2019, After the Fall of New York.
I love that movie.
Coming soon to the Grindbin.
The cover, the movie poster for that movie is homaged in the cover for Strike Team Codename Diamond Force.
Oh,
Rad.
it's also a Saab Q movie, one of
Yeah.
his 4 movies. Hands of Steel, 1986, which you would think would be a badass movie. It sucks. I tried to watch it for the show, and I was like, it's just really boring. But it's like him with a robot arm. And you're like, how can you go wrong? You know, it's like George Eastman, and he's like wrecking dudes with a robot. No, it's just mostly him sitting in a building, which is kind of what a lot of those Italian movies are. You know, they promise the action, and it's just a guy like sitting in a building for a long time, like crying about things.
Crying about his robot
Yeah,
arm.
it's like, oh, it hurts. 1987, The Barbarians with the Paul twins.
Yeah.
The infamous Paul twins, which, if we do any Paul twins movies, it's not going to be Barbarians. I think we're doing
You're
that.
gonna do that one where they have to watch a kid.
Hell yeah, we're doing
Yeah.
the one where they watch a
What's
kid.
the name of that one?
Double Trouble or something.
Yeah, I feel like it would be Double Trouble.
And they're holding the kids up by their feet. You gotta love it. 1987 Delirium was in that. So a little trivia about the movie before we get into it. Unless you
Hold
have
on.
anything else.
I have another.
Oh God.
I have another cast member.
We got the world's. Oh.
Yeah.
I thought it was more George Eastman stuff.
No. Ottaviano Dell'Acqua. Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Grindbin All-Star.
No.
Yeah. Ottaviano plays Matt in this film, which is one of the other bad guys in the film, one of the gang. And he played a guard in Escape from the Bronx.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And also, significantly, he is the poster zombie from the film Zombie.
Oh.
The one with the worms in his eye.
Oh, nice. So he was
That's
one of
his
those
biggest
guys.
claim to fame.
You're telling me he was one of the guys in Space Force, so I should recognize him from the helmet.
Absolutely.
Okay.
He was one of the Space Force dummies getting blown up. He mostly does stunt work and is still working today, even having worked in John Wick 2, where he, I'm sure,
Really?
plays just one of the guys who gets shot in the face.
Another Space Force one.
He plays a lot of guards and a lot of zombies. But yeah, we have 3 Grindbin All-Stars in this film.
Hell yeah. So a little bit of trivia before we get into it, guys. And I got a little more trivia peppered out throughout the episode here. There is actually an actor in this movie who is in Deliverance.
Yes, I read that too.
Billy Redden, who makes his cameo as a banjo man, had played the character of Lonnie.
He's
in
a Benjamin?
Deliverance. Benjamin, yeah.
It's all about the Benjamins.
And then in case you're wondering, and I'm
leave.
sure our good friend Sean Thompson from looserounds.com will correct me if I'm wrong, but it says on the internet that the gun Tiger uses in this movie is called I don't know how to pronounce it.
Usually
is
people
it
just call it
Spaz 12
the
or-
Spaz, yeah.
Okay, Spaz 12.
Spaz 12.
Spaz
yeah.
12.
This is a Smash TV gun.
It's a Spaz 12 shotgun, apparently. So, guys, we get into the movie, and man, does this theme song seem like familiar to you?
Is this
it's a
Evening
very
Star?
beautiful
No,
song.
we're not at Evening Star yet.
Oh, okay.
No, the theme song for this movie is very familiar because it's also in Dinosaur Valley.
Yes.
They've just reused
So
it.
you're saying it's the Michael Saab Q theme song?
It is the Saab Q theme song, and man, does it get me pumped because you're hearing this music, it's like, dun, and of course we're playing it, under us while we're talking right now. But he's like walking out of a building.
As we get
and
pumped up to
everything.
get into this
yeah.
movie?
Yeah.
And he's like walking out, and like somebody's picking him up in a car,
He's got
and
that
then
sweet
everything.
porn stash.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
my god.
well, speaking of that, like he's walking out of like a bus depot with like a bag over his shoulder.
It's a prison.
Is this a prison? I thought it was like the bus depot.
Because I looked it up. This movie's filmed in Georgia, and it was filmed at a federal prison.
Oh, all right.
So he actually walked out of the prison, and I'm wondering, did they get
permission.
just go,
just
Michael,
walk
go.
in and then walk
What are they
right
gonna
out.
do? Lock you up?
Walk
you
in,
know?
walk out. Well, he like walks out and then like a car pulls up and he just like gets in with that porn stash.
Yeah.
The,
It
the
looks
vibe on this is this is a hustler movie.
Yeah.
This is a movie about a hustler.
Or we're about to do like a survival commercial. The way he's leaning in, the guy's just like, "Do you need a ride?" He's like, "Are you insured?"
Oh.
But there's no dialogue. They just sort of
No.
nod to each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they just
'Cause
start driving.
They're like, audience, right? We're like, not really. And so then
They'll
they
catch up. Fuck 'em.
like pull into a parking lot or whatever, and he's like, I got you stuff you wanted. And he like opens the glove box, and there's a pistol in there.
like
and,
an old timey 6-shooter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he also goes like, "Oh, got that other gun you were looking for,"
State of the art.
and he pulls out this. I mean, this is the sweetest gun I've ever seen in a movie.
Yeah.
Like, it is so fucking awesome, and like, I can't believe they didn't use this for like a Schwarzenegger movie or anything because it's pretty badass.
This thing would give Judge Dredd a chub.
and it also it's like a shotgun apparently, but it also has like a
scope? It's a long range sniper shotgun.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Like Nerf didn't come up with a design this cool.
Yeah, no. Yeah, well, if Blastfighter hit big in the U.S., they were going to have the Nerf version of the
Nerf fighter.
Yeah, all those kids running around being Saab Q, they're all like, I'm Tiger Sharp this time. You got to be whatever that ginger guy's name is. What's that one guy? You got to be Pete.
Who the fuck is Pete? We'll get to it.
Easy handling, lightweight, basically a riot gun, but with an interchangeable rifle barrel that'll give you a 6-inch bullseye at 300 yards. It can be fired either as a semi-automatic or using a hand pump action. It shoots anything, from smoke bombs to flares, up to 8 rounds for any specialized job you care to mention. Rubber pellets, lead slugs, armor piercing, even a spread of darts. It'll fire grenades, tear gas, explosives, you name it. And the scope has light intensification capabilities in infrared. I checked it out. And it's a honey tiger.
And then the bullets all look like
Glass
filament
tubes.
bulbs.
Yeah.
For some reason, like, it shoots hipster filament bulbs.
It shoots
out of
glass
it.
babies.
Oh, wait.
They expand in full size and grab people.
You would think, like, by the end of this movie, at one point, he's going to shoot a net or something.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, anything's going to come out of that thing.
Yeah, for all the buildup of all the different things that this gun can do, it shoots bullets and shoots grenades, essentially.
I
It's
thought
like
there
a-
was going to be like a trio of missiles that swirl
Yeah.
around him.
Yeah.
Like video games.
It is. Yeah, it is like a Doom gun. Like
Yeah.
when you get the shotgun in Doom that also shoots grenade launchers. It's just like this one. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So the guy in the car, he's like, "Yeah, I got your stuff," and yeah, I guess you can shoot this guy as he's like leaving a hotel or something. We're like, what is going on? Is he like a hitman or like we don't know? Because nobody said, "Hey, it's good to see you out of prison" or anything.
No one's
like
letting
that.
us in on this.
Yeah, they're just because that music is rocking. And you're like, well, I have quite okay. I'll just keep going. And then you see him like he's looking through the scope and everything. He's like, is he gonna shoot this guy? And then all of a sudden, some weird flashback
Yeah,
happens.
flashbacks to some other movies. This stops him from assassinating a guy.
Yeah, like so all of a sudden, some ginger guy is screaming at us, and he's like, "Ah, you fucking cop!" And you're like, "Wait, what?"
Am I supposed to know this guy?
He's like, "Yeah, I bet you're doing, you cop." And then it shows the guy that he's gonna shoot, and he's just like, "Yeah, you don't have any proof." We're like, okay, clearly something has happened, but Bava is not letting us know at this point.
But we're on the couch raising our hands with a question. Mr. Bava?
Mr. Bava.
Don't worry, just turn the music up.
He just turns it up even higher. Because, man, that music is rocking. When you start this movie, it just... Please, if you watch this movie, make sure you got the volume a little lower because it's going to just... Like, ready? 1, 2... I had to jump off the couch. Like, oh, shit.
Your neighbors are like, he's watching Blastfighter again.
Yep, again.
Get himself pumped up for the work day.
I often go around my building dressed as Tiger Sharp.
As
with
well
my
you
Smash
should.
12 and everything. Yeah. I take care of the...
Great stash, by the way,
Take
Mike.
care of the riff
It
raff.
looks awesome.
I have recently done the porno stash, and I think it's looking good, guys. So...
It's looking.
It plays.
It's looking, yeah. Would you allow me, a stranger, to get in your car?
Yes.
Yeah.
But wouldn't be driving to no parking garage to assassinate someone.
We'd be looking for
We'd
burning
be looking
dogs.
for a hotel and burning dogs.
Christ. So then Tiger drives around at night, right? And he's leaving the city of Atlanta to go out into the wilderness, and that's when the song Evening Star plays.
And, wow. He pops in the tape. A little bit of trivia about Evening Star. Written by the Bee Gees.
Yeah. Yep.
It gives you an idea of what kind of song we're dealing with here.
So my wife, notorious Bee Gee hater,
Oh, no.
had...
Well, I'm sorry. Oh,
I've-
BG. Sorry.
Yeah. I had spoken to her. I put this on the podcast once before. As I said, like, oh, one of the Bee Gees died. She was like, good, they're almost all gone.
Wow.
I was like, man, that's a hard take. She hates the Bee Gees, and when I was watching this movie the other day, she ran out, like, during this song. She went in the room and was like, ugh. And I was like...
She just knows whatever
Yeah.
that's something. Did you let her know?
I let her know the next day. I was like, remember how you hated that song? It's a Bee Gees song. She's like, I knew it. I just
You
knew it.
felt
Something,
in your
yeah.
bones.
And she didn't want to watch the movie after that. She just walked out of the
like,
room.
"This
Was
movie
like,
sucks."
oh, no. I was like, but there's a deer. And she couldn't keep running.
To be fair, that song's pretty awful.
Yeah.
Did you
it's
play
awful. Of course, we played it at the beginning of the episode.
That's the song
That's
we're
how
starting with.
That's how we get everybody pumped. What are you talking about?
Get him in. I think I could have stand that song once in the movie, but it returns.
But it
too many
becomes our
times.
cruising down the road for
Yeah.
this movie.
Oh, yeah.
By the way,
no,
we're
hey.
over 5 minutes into this film, and I still don't know who anybody is
Oh,
or
no,
what this
no,
movie's
no.
supposed
Look,
to be
you don't
about.
need to. So then we go to small town Georgia, right? And Tiger pulls up to a corner store and he goes inside.
And apparently, when he goes inside, he interrupts the Country Bear Jamboree.
Oh, man.
Oh yeah, the banjo player.
We got a
And
bandsman.
there might as well have been a record scratch when he entered the shop.
Because I guess they don't like him even though he's from here.
Yeah, they
We're gonna
treat him like
learn
a stranger,
he's
but
from here.
He's from here, and he looks like everyone else.
Yeah.
This isn't like Billy Jack walked in a funny hat and no shoes. Like,
Yeah,
this,
no,
he
no.
blends right in.
Yeah. I mean, it's not Crocodile Dundee coming to town.
Right.
You know, it's like he fits in perfectly, other than maybe the Porto stash. It's like, man, that's a little city style, I guess. But
Like, look at this guy. He's uptown.
yeah, he walks in. They're like, hey, look at those jeans, you city boy. And he's just like, what are you? I'm from here.
Rebel Roy, huh?
I went to school with you.
Because he buys groceries and then he goes off and they're like, city boy. And as he's going off, they're real pissed. Then he goes to this crappy house in the mountains. And it's like, it's a rough shape, but hell, I'd take you at this point.
Yeah,
I'd
you know,
take it, yeah.
that same house would sell for $500,000 in LA County.
That's low, Tanner. Come on.
I don't know.
This house
Housing
in
prices
Silver
are
Lake?
falling. Oh, in Silver Lake, sure. Yeah.
1.3.
1.3.
It's got character, you know? You got to just fix everything inside. So, yeah, it's just like a hellhole. It looks like the cabin they use in Antichrist or something, if you've ever seen
Oh, God. That movie. A friend of mine once played that movie for a party he threw.
Oh, that's a great party movie.
It's been a running thing with this friend of mine. He always like picks these movies he wants to show all of his friends because he thought it was a great film. But you have to be able to curate for a get together. Like
Yeah.
everyone's having a couple drinks, we're having a good time, and then he shows like Irreversible. And it's a lot of lights coming back on after the movie, and everyone just kind of quietly going, "Well, I have to work in the morning."
Is this like a strange fetish of his to
I don't
like
know.
bring a room down?
Maybe, but
He's
yeah,
like the heel of
Antichrist
your
was one
movie
of
parties.
one of the big ones he did, and no one had anything to say to each other afterwards.
Yeah, I think when my wife and I watched Shady Christ, we just went to bed.
See?
Just like,
Makes you
yeah,
not
that
want to
was-
talk about it.
Woo! We thought our lives are complicated, am I right? You know?
I only made it through the first 45 minutes. Of that
Oh,
movie.
you missed
you
the
missed-
best part.
Is that where she smashes his dick with a tree stump?
Oh, there's plenty.
Like hits him in the crotch with a brick.
Yeah, I'm not-
Yeah.
You missed the
Good.
whole burning dog fucking. Though.
Oh, what?
Which is a
See,
real-
would've been
Back
your
in my
favorite
Netflix
movie.
queue.
Guys, let's not make this a continuous thing
Yeah.
throughout the episode.
Strangely, it ended with that.
How about a moratorium on burning dog jokes?
Yeah, Bobby's still upset because of the dogs episode of this podcast where I said I'd just shoot them all.
Ugh.
He's still upset about that.
Even today, when you post one of those GIFs from that movie on our Twitter feed, I'm like, fucking Mike.
Okay, the best
And an
gift
ice
from
cream
all
man,
of
for fuck's sake.
the best gift from all of dogs is when that guy shotguns a German Shepherd. That was pretty.
That's the one
funny.
I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's hilarious. He didn't really die.
I'm aware.
Well, maybe. I don't know. It was the 70s. You could do whatever you wanted. So it was made by a notorious cat lover. So
That's a problem.
yeah. So the next day, Tiger goes hunting. We see through the sights as he's aiming at a deer, and he's like thinking, "I'm gonna take out this deer." But then all of a sudden, he like has some weird flashbacks.
I was hoping he'd flash back to a deer going like, "You got no proof." He's like, "Oh, I can't do it."
You know, that
this
would be
entire movie
the-
is about him just being unable to shoot anything.
Man, that would be the David Lynch version. Like the ginger guy would turn into a deer.
It's
and he'd
like,
be like, "You
was it
can't shoot
that,
me,
that
you
Sprockets thing from SNL when Mike Myers sees a caribou in a limousine?
cop." I do not remember
I do
this.
not remember that bit, but
Oh,
all
well,
right.
never mind then.
He doesn't shoot it right, but then he flashes back and like apparently, so we're getting a little bit of the background and like apparently everything went wrong when him and his partner were, I don't know, they're like security guards at like a sporting event or something because they're at a stadium and like in the middle of an event his partner got shot or something and this like the same ginger guy from the like the background like the flashback shows up and he's got a gun and he's like ah, and then I don't really know where it goes from there, like why it says something like Saab Q something like you killed him or something. He's like, no, you did.
I guess it's on us for not seeing the first movie.
Yeah, I'm like, what? Yeah, is it like a Blastfighter prequel? Is this all? Wait, is this from the Mad Max original? It's like,
Was that Goose? Was that Goose that just got killed?
but I was just so confused. I'm like, so they obviously just got like a set of stairs. They're like, I don't know, your partner died or something. You're very upset about
Oh,
it.
he gets shot on the stairs.
and then a ginger man comes up and he's all upset.
Hey, don't check as you're a bad copper.
They were on the boat in Raw Force. That's why he's on the stairs.
Yeah, he's a disgraced martial artist. is
His
what you're
partner
saying?
died when the boat got sieged.
So apparently, like, and in this thing, you're like, well, he doesn't look like a cop. He looks like he's a security guard. or
Is a
something.
very dressed down uniform.
Yeah. And so,
He and Bruce Willis were guarding the football game.
yeah, I was going to say, like, Van Damme and, my favorite Van
Sudden
Damme
Sudden
movie.
Death?
Sudden Death, yeah. So apparently, no, he runs to the deer because it was shot. Like, we see stock footage of a deer getting shot, and you're confused because Bava's just editing the shit out of this thing. And then,
So apparently he couldn't bring himself to do it, but then somebody else did.
yeah, like at the same time, and I just call them the yokels because they're just, you know, the most, like, Cletus the Slackjaw yokel
Oh, yeah.
type of characters. They're just deliverance dudes. None of them ever really get names, so I just call them the yokels.
But these fucking juggalos show up.
Yeah, surprisingly, they're all in clown makeup, which is really an odd
Hockey
choice.
jerseys.
Yeah. You know, real early ICP fans, you know, getting on it. They were run over and they apparently shot it, and then Saab Q runs over and he's like, "Don't let it suffer like that," you know, because it's just wiggling on the ground and everything. They're like, "Hey, fuck you!"
They're like, "We're
city
gonna take
boy."
it alive."
Then Saab Q just shoots it. So he fires his loaded long
Super
range
gun.
His
sniper
anything gun.
shotgun. Yeah, just at that. By the way, he doesn't even aim it. He just kind of like one-handed shoots the deer in the face.
He's that good.
And I gotta say, I'm disappointed the deer didn't like burst into flames or disintegrate like Thanos snapped his fingers.
Yeah.
What we learn is when this gun shoots a deer,
Yeah.
it's just like a normal bullet. When it
Yeah.
shoots a human later, it's explosive.
Well, he had
Well,
the
he had
deer
it-
bullet in it, you know. He had the dinner bullet where it's like you can eat what you kill,
yeah.
not just
And he
it
hadn't
blows it
gotten
up.
the Explodo power up yet. He has
yeah.
to run over that
Yeah.
icon in the woods.
Yeah. And so they get all pissed off. They're like, "Ah, you fucking killed it." But they do like his gun. They're
Yeah.
like, but that is we're mad you killed our deer, but that is a sweet ass gun. And he's
And
like, yeah.
They offer to
yeah.
buy it, or like the main yokel.
To which he responds, "The one you got's already too big for you."
Hey.
Nice.
Now here's another thing. I didn't mention this. Saab Q, all his dialogue was dubbed by another actor.
Oh,
So this is not Saab Q's voice, and
a
I don't
bummer.
think we've ever really heard his voice because I'm
Is he
almost
dubbed in every movie?
guaranteed that was not.
So
his
when we
voice
do
in Dinosaur
track him
Valley.
down, he's gonna have like this falsetto.
Yeah, he's gonna be like, "Hey, yeah, I love being in Blastfighter."
It's like when the Undertaker finally speaks in Suburban Commando.
And you're like, oh no,
Oh, no.
oh no. So then they're loading. So here's the thing: these yokels have like 50 deers in the back of a pickup
That
truck.
is way over limit.
Yeah, and I'm like, what do you mean no animals were harmed? Because that's the only
mean, you
reason
can
I
say
said
that.
Because there's like 50 dead deer, and those don't look fake, man.
Well, they found 50 dead deer laying around in the woods.
We just found them.
Roadkill is an excellent source for prop deer carcasses.
There was a deer cult. All right, we had nothing to do with it. There was a Heaven's Gate for deer.
But apparently they're all alive, is the thing. Is they all want the deers alive.
Yeah.
Which we'll get into. But there's like a good 50 of them in the back of a pickup truck. They're like, we got time for one more. And they're just all running around. And Saab Q's looking at them and he's like, well, you're not getting this baby deer next to me. And he grabs this baby deer and he takes it with him. It's his new best friend.
This
It's
is
his
my
new
deer
armadillo.
Now, apparently, though,
This is how Bambi started.
Yeah, but apparently they gave it a heart attack when off camera, which is really
It was so
sad.
excited to meet Michael Saab Q.
Yeah, he's a big Dinosaur Valley fan. So
Oh
when
my
he,
God, it's Saab Q.
Yeah, he's
Thud.
like, oh, I love devilfish. And so then we go to the house. Now he's got the deer in the house, and he's doing it like a real Chuck Norris. He's like giving it the milk and everything. You know?
It's a heartwarming tale of a boy and his deer.
Yeah.
In not knowing what the fuck is happening in this movie, I'm like, oh wow, this is going to be a very nice story.
So now by minute 10, we're watching Saab Q hang out with a deer while Evening Star plays again. And we're like, okay, I'm in for it.
The presence of a song penned by the Bee Gees and a baby deer drinking milk chills him out so much he puts his anything gun under the floorboards.
Yeah, we're
he
like,
does
oh,
not
okay.
need this anymore.
I guess it's not going to be an action movie after all. He's putting it away.
This is an
you know.
Italian remake of The Yearling.
What if the rest of this Bava movie was just Saab Q with a little baby deer, and the whole movie is him just bringing it up?
You're like, wow, this really took a turn.
Teaching it how to like bound. It's like, no, you have to jump over the fence like this.
You
It's
put-
like this. Boing.
You put the gun on the poster, but then you bring them in and you teach them life lesson. Okay, Mr. Bava, that sounds great and all, but can we use that gun? Yeah, we're going to need that. So then, actually, it was supposed to be a futuristic thing where Mad Max actually calmed down and he just kind of, hung out with the deer. They kept all that stuff.
Like in that Mad Max script, like the deer grows full size proudly into this buck, and then he rides it into battle.
Yeah, and then unfortunately it gets stuck in the Thunderdome.
Oh,
Yeah, and it all goes
he has
bad.
to fight the deer.
Yeah.
This was Deer Fighter.
Man, that's right. They got to go mano a mano,
They're on those bungee cords, so they're all just bouncing around.
He's got a pit fight with his dong out, like Tanner.
Tallywhacker.
Tallywhacker.
Tallywhacker Pit Fighter. So then the deer's riding in the car, right? Which is probably the best shot in the whole movie. Now, this is a
Is
movie
this deer riding shotgun?
where there are limbs. Hey, deer riding shotgun. There are like limbs that get blown off later in this movie. There's all sorts of great stuff, but the best shot in the whole movie for me is Michael Saab Q riding around with a deer in his front seat as Evening Star plays again. As he's just giving it a pet, he's like, "Oh, my friend," and they're like riding into town.
Everything's gonna be great.
It's great though. They're going to the store. He's like, "I'll get you some more milk, and it's gonna be great." And that's when he goes into the store.
What do you want a baby bottle for?
Yeah, because he goes up and into the dubbed voice. He goes, "Do you have a baby bottle?"
And the great little old lady at the thing has a wonderfully dubbed voice.
Yeah.
What do you want a baby bottle for?
I just like to drink out of it.
Oh, sorry for asking.
What do you want with a baby bottle?
Just like to drink out of it.
Sorry, I asked.
Cue Evening Star. Tiger goes into another store, and then the yokels harass him. They're just like, "Hey, look at
You're
that
like, oh,
guy."
I hope someday I could get a fancy bomber jacket.
Yeah, I hope one day I could get some. What are those? Levi's city jeans.
But they also make fun of the way he walks, which honestly,
Well,
yeah,
those jeans
he's
are a little
walking
tight, man.
very
Yeah,
weird.
the jeans are a little tight.
He's doing they have he walks like a cop, and then someone says no, he walks like he just did the penitentiary shuffle. Like, oh, so do they?
Is that like the
know?
Super Bowl shuffle?
Yes.
Yeah.
Everyone's got to line up and rap why they're in.
I shot a man who shot my partner. And I could have shot him again, but I didn't oughta.
All right, let's take that from the top.
Penitentiary shuffle.
Oh, man.
So here's what happens, though, guys. The worst part of the whole movie.
Oh, God.
Well, he goes back to his car after getting the milk, and
Yeah.
he procured a bottle. He opens the door, and boom! That poor baby deer has its head nearly cut off.
Yeah, somebody put a Halloween decoration of a deer with its throat slit on the front seat.
And, man, if this hadn't looked so bad, it would have been really horrifying.
Yeah, because it looks
Instead, I
horribly
laughed out
fake.
loud.
Yeah, because it's like a Halloween decoration
Yeah.
with a deer with its throat slit, just going. On
It's like they took an archery dummy of a deer and like smeared jelly on it.
Yeah, because it is just like Heinz ketchup all over the thing, you know, and it's just.
In what is clearly not a deer.
Yeah. And then he's all, oh man, Saab Q enraged.
And oh my God, this shit turned into John Wick.
Yeah, well, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he goes over and he's like,
It's
you know,
Michael Sopwith
you've been waiting to drop that.
the whole time.
And then he walks over. I do love this part. He's like, you know who I am? A son of a bitch who wants to be left alone. And then he starts punching everybody. It's like, well, you're not going to be left alone that way. But
It's like the Billy Jack scene when he finally springs into violence. There's this build to it, and then he just goes berserk.
so he beats up all these guys, right? And he's like throwing them through windows and everything. And then he just goes to the police station. He's like, well, I'm going to pay for my damages.
He doesn't want any trouble.
Yeah, he
Man
doesn't
of
want any
honor.
trouble.
He just wanted to be left alone.
And the cop's like, hey, it's good to see you, Tiger Sharp. How you been? Oh, heard about prison. That must suck. Everything okay? And he's like, yeah, everything's fine. We get a little more backstory. Apparently, we learn that Tiger killed somebody, and then like the DA guy set him up and all this stuff. It is the most confusing set of things. And like as the movie goes on, it gets even more confusing and adds other elements. So you're like, why did they even need that? But yeah, we'll find out, kinda. So then all of a sudden, that's when George Eastman arrives, right? And his name is Tom in this
Man,
movie.
George Eastman for LL Bean.
He is dressed, so he is kind of like a lumberman,
See,
right?
I'm
He's a
so
lumberman.
used to George Eastman from his post-apocalyptic movies. He's usually got some kind of mad shoulder game going on. Like, he looks like a Mortal Kombat character in so many of his movies. Or he's playing some raging zombie man. So to see him just in, like, flannel,
Yeah.
to see him walk in looking like he's playing Al Borland.
He looks like, yeah, like Al Borland or like the brawny guy, you
Yeah.
know? He comes in and he's like, oh, hey, Tiger, my good friend. And he's like, oh, hey, Tom, how you doing? And we learn that Tom's brother is one of the yokels who's been messing with Tiger, and we don't really know why.
Now, is that Matt?
Yes, it's like my brother Matt.
Chief Yokel.
Yeah,
Ottaviano?
Chief Yokel, yeah. He's been apparently... I don't really know the whole dynamic. This is the weirdest dynamic in a movie is like they're friends from childhood, but they're like, as they say, there's this beautiful moment where they say like, you remember when we saw those two bucks fighting on top of a waterfall, and we knew like they had to come to blows. You know, those two friends, they were going to come to blows one day.
And the Bucks, you know, when the Bucks confronted each other, they got their horns stuck together. And they were just stuck like that.
Yeah.
And he died.
And he says, you know, we always thought we'd end up like that, but we try to avoid it. We're like, man, there's a lot of like deep shit that's going on
there's
that
a lot
we're
of, like-
never going to talk about.
Yeah.
It's
Would've
also
been interesting to
weird.
get into that.
And this comes up later, which we'll get to. Is like, so this is presumably his best friend growing up.
Yeah.
There's no acknowledgement that he knew that he was fucking with his best friend's little brother.
Well,
Which
he has been
presumably
gone for a while.
Well, okay, so what he says is after they get out of the police station, George Eastman says, like, you know, you left here and you thought you were really great because you went to the city, and here I am, I stayed here, and I didn't think I'd amount to anything, but I made my fortune here because I own a lumber mill and all this stuff, and he's like, now I run this town, and you're trying to come back, and he's jealous of him, basically. It's like, you went to the city and became a big-time cop. However, he did go to prison for 8 years,
Yes.
so it wasn't like he succeeded. But for some reason, George Eastman still holds a grudge about all this. And
Yeah.
he's like, go ahead and kill that baby deer, brother of mine. And we never know how much of like the strings he's actually pulling with his brother and the yokels and like what the whole situation is. But basically, then it becomes a completely different movie because he goes, oh, by the way, look over there. So the reason we like kill all these deer is because like this guy from a Chinese restaurant is like buying them and then selling them to China because they like the deer
These are
alive.
aphrodisiacs.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
aphrodisiac
potency and
stuff.
whatnot. I was wondering when this was going to get
I'm like,
racist.
man, this fucking goes all the way to the top. The Chinese are buying the freaking deers, and before they were buying property, they were buying American deers, man.
It's
Holy shit.
bit by bit taking over. This is Los Angeles.
Yeah, there's all these damn Chinese buying all the deer out of our national parks, and apparently it's a problem in 1984.
Oh man, if Bronson rolled into this town.
Oh yeah. He would have killed that baby deer himself.
Oh God! Before they could get to it,
Yeah.
he would go around killing the deer so they couldn't have them alive.
Yep.
He goes,
The
"Rather
deer
have
was
no
reaching-
You want him alive? You won't get him.
So apparently it's the Chinese, right? It's all their fault.
It always comes back to that, right?
And he's like, so Tiger, I'm hoping that you can turn a blind eye to my side business. I guess the lumber business isn't doing too well, so on the side I also sell aphrodisiac deer stuff to the Chinese. He's like, okay, I'm not going to turn a blind eye because I have a big moral issue with all of this. And even though I want to be left alone, I've found my new mission in life, and that's to save every deer in the forest. And he's like, okay, I guess we're going to have a problem. And he says the line, your brother even been to jail? George Eastman goes, never. And that's when Michael Saab Q has one of my favorite lines. So he goes, he will. Anyone who kills animals like that doesn't have to go far before he kills a man.
Ooh, ominous.
Cue Evening Star. So then we see like more yokels shooting things. Then Tiger comes home, and there's like
There's a swinging raccoon in his doorway.
apparently what
It's
sets
like a Home
him
Alone
off,
trap.
What really triggers Tiger Sharp is the sight of a dead animal, because he comes home with this wood and he's like, I'm gonna have a nice night and forget about my deer.
Gonna make some s'mores.
And then he gets a raccoon in the face. And he's like, God damn it! And he's all pissed off about it, right? So then he goes over and he just goes to the Chinese guy's little place that he has where he's, I don't know, pulling some sort of deer part out of it.
Yeah, it's a little woodshed laboratory.
Yeah, and he goes over and he's like, ah! And he goes, I'll give you, well, he says something like, I'll give you 1 minute to get out of this county, and then he just starts trashing the place, and the guy's like, God, you didn't even count, man, come on.
Hey, he gets to leave the county, but those deer hearts and deer dicks that he's putting in jars, they have to stay.
Yeah, and he just trashes all of it, and he's like, he's throwing everything around. Then the yokels show up, and there's a big fight, and then they get Tiger, and they like hold him down, and then Tom comes in, he's like, all right, come on, let's stop this now. Then there's this whole part where he's like, we used to shoot them too, and that's the great Saab Q line, but he goes, but not like this!
There was honor back when we did it.
Hell, we used to shoot them too, don't you remember? But not like that!
So this movie was originally about a cop who got out of prison, who got a big shotgun that was going to shoot the DA that brought him down, but instead he went to go camp. He went to go back to his hometown in a cabin that he secured, and now he's set his new goal in life as to stop a black market deer operation from selling deer parts to China.
Yes.
Man,
This makes the most sense
this
I've
is
ever
20
heard.
minutes into this movie.
And this, for me, this is when this movie still makes sense. Like, I'm still on board.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah. It's pretty clear
There's
at this
about to be
point.
at the turn where I'm like, this movie doesn't make any sense.
Okay, so it's like he's a Rambo for deer. Like, instead of saving the Taliban, he's going to save the
He's
deer.
Ramby.
Oh, man.
It's sitting on that one, too.
Tiger's like, look, George Union says, do you want a war? And he goes, no.
No, he says nope.
Nope. And he
Do
goes,
you want a war? Nope.
And he goes, but your brother leaves those animals alone, and I'll leave him alone. And George Eastman's like, well, I guess we're in war now. And it's the most gentleman war, you know? It's like two heads of state. They're like, we're going to war now? And they're like, yeah.
Okay.
Well, see you on the battlefield. All right? And they shake hands, and they go,
Best of luck.
yep. So then the yokels are now, okay, so a girl pulls up at a gas station, right? And we're obviously going to play this because this is one of the strangest catcalling scenarios I think we've had so far.
Yeah.
So how old is this girl supposed to be? She's definitely like, I mean, she's an adult, right? Because
Right.
she's in college.
Surely.
Is she in college?
Well, Tanner, you didn't, we'll get into
Oh, yeah,
this, but
okay.
her, quote, boyfriend shows up at some point, and he's certainly a college student or a professor or something. So she's not like super young, I'm guessing.
This is a pieces situation. They're like, I don't know how old these college kids are.
Yeah.
Could be
And-
college, could be high school, who knows?
But she looks young, and she pulls up to a gas station. She's like, do you know where Tiger Sharp's place is and everything? And people are like, who? Tiger, what are you talking about? Again, he grew up in this town. Nobody knows him, you know? And so then the yokels, and we're going to play it.
Well, now, old Harry shot.
Hey, Lollipop! Lollipop!
Why are you calling that child Lollipop?
Hey, if you could only lick her, you'd find out. Shit, I sure know what I'd use that van for, and I don't mean to lick a deer car.
I feel like that's very Italian.
Yeah. You call it lollipop.
Oh, you got to lick her.
Mr. Bava, we got to stop saying that on set.
Oh, that young lollipop.
You're making her very uncomfortable. And
I wonder if she's got a squishy bubblegum Santa.
You know, I had to give her the other side of the 50 for you. So Tiger, and early too. So we're hoping she shows up tomorrow. So we go back to Tiger's cabin, and the girl's there, right? And she just gets into the cabin before he gets home, and she's just like kind of making herself at home, like unpacking her things and everything. And then all of a sudden he comes up, he's like, "What the fuck? Who are you?" And she's like, "No." And the audience is like, "Are we? Bava? Hello?"
And I gotta say, because of the dubbing in this, she talks like she's in a kung fu movie.
Okay. This is where we're going to get into her name is Connie. Her performance is screaming. Every line is screamed. So it's like, you know, he comes home and he's like, "Who are you, strange lady in my house? Don't you know?" And he's like, "Oh,
I'll come back."
And so he's like, "Can you leave?" And then she just starts like beating him up, and she's like, "Fuck you, fuck you." And he's like, okay. And this is when I write, so what the fuck's going on?
Are there pieces missing?
Like,
from this
I was
movie?
following the deer story, and now we got a girl that's just shown up and everything.
This is the turn where I was like, I no longer understand what's happening.
This is where this movie bucked you.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we cut to, it's raining very hard at night, and Saab Q's sleeping on the porch of his own cabin, and the girl's inside in the bed and everything.
Well, he's
and
a gentleman. He's not going to sleep in there with her.
But here's the thing. The last line of that was she called him a horse's ass, right? And then he's sleeping on, it's night now, he's sleeping in a sleeping bag on the porch. Then all of a sudden he gets up in a huff, goes inside, rips the covers off her, and he goes, "If I'm a horse's ass, what does that make you?" I'm like, dude, that was like 6 hours ago that insult. Like, it took you that long?
We've all been there. Every one of us has been like driving to work the next day and just muttered the thing you should have said 12 hours ago.
The jerk store called and they're running out of you.
And somebody's like, "Tanner, that was, what was that, 15 years ago I said that insult to you?" Like, yeah, well,
Hey,
who's got the last laugh?
Remember that time you said that thing?
Hey, if I ever encounter my old freshman basketball coach, I got a few lines to deliver to him.
As the coffin goes on the ground.
I have something I need to say.
I need to put something in the coffin. Let me just write it down real quick.
You think that happens often at funerals? Like some random guy comes up and yells at the coffin, like, "Yeah, you're the horse's ass." They're like, "Oh, wow, man."
And then just gets in the car and drives away in the rain.
And everybody's like, "Holy shit, he got
Who
the
was
last
that?
laugh." Yeah, oh, fuck.
No honor, man. You waited till he couldn't respond.
No, well, you never know if you have a maniac cop type of
Oh, yeah.
situation, you know. So then he just can't figure out why this girl's here. And he even says, this is the thing, he's like, "So why are you here?" She goes, "Well, you never asked." And he's like, I won't.
You know, I got to go think about this for 12 more hours.
Audience, should I ask her? Fuck it.
Great. What do you think, folks at home?
Yeah, we learn nothing. The scene just ends. I'm
I
like,
don't know
okay,
what movie I'm
guess
watching at
nobody's
this
going to ask anybody a question. Cut to the next day. The Tiger wakes up in the morning, right? And he notices the girl's gone, but then he goes to the window and he sees her washing her clothes by the river or something. And he says, "Good golly, Miss Molly." Which is the most bizarre. I was like, I didn't understand. Was he like commenting on the situation like she's not left, or that he was like finding her attractive?
I missed
I don't
that,
know how
so
it was
I don't
supposed
know.
to be delivered,
Yeah.
so it was really weird. Wait, you don't have this scene?
I don't remember that. Or I don't remember that line, at least.
Now's a good time to say that the version Tanner watched was
I
missing
watched
a few
a
scenes.
version on YouTube, which was much shorter and is missing a big chunk of the movie. Which
So
we'll-
he
which
wakes
we'll
up and
get to.
sees this girl washing her clothes, and he says, "Good golly, Miss Molly," and you're like, okay.
He doesn't seem like the type of character who would say that as an expletive.
Yeah.
Or in lieu of an expletive.
Yeah.
We've already seen that this is a guy who, carries guns and throws motherfuckers through windows when they cross him. He's not going to be like, "Well, good golly," because
Yeah.
he's frustrated.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, it's him eyeing a pretty woman.
Yeah. So then he goes outside and he grabs her by the arm and he's like, all right, time to go. And she's like, you male chauvinist. And he says,
You male chauvinist!
I may be a male chauvinist, but you're acting like a girl with a pair of balls.
Son of a bitch!
so then he's driving her down a mountain road. This is my favorite part in the whole movie, guys. Because all of a sudden he's just driving down a mountain road and she's like, oh, don't you even want to know about anything, why I'm here or anything? He goes, can't talk right now, the brakes don't work. Just in the most like nonchalant nature.
Don't you think you're overdoing it just a little?
Don't get nervous now.
Well, all you have to do is slow down.
I can't. I got the brakes. Gearbox is gone.
And he's like, yeah, so we're going to have to jump out of the car. So wait, what the fuck's going on? He's like, yeah, so what we're going to do is on this turn, we're going to jump out. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go!
And they do.
In the most nonchalant way. Like, I love the idea.
Like he's done this 100 times.
Like, they don't have the whole part where a guy presses on the brakes and it doesn't work. It's just the character just says it nonchalantly like, yeah, sorry, the brakes don't work.
What's interesting is that he made it that far without having to brake already.
Well, because she's like
they're already into their drive. They're up on the mountain road.
They are on the drive, and she goes, do you have to go this fast?
Like,
is how it starts, and goes, oh, yeah, the brakes don't work. Somebody cut them. What? Whoa, that would have been important to learn.
Okay.
So then they jump out, and the car rolls down a hill, and I knew Bava thought this was going to be like a real epic car explosion, but it's just like a little poof. Like a magician through a smoke bomb. It just poofs up.
But the mushroom cloud that rises from the woods is very noticeable because the yokels see it and start whooping and hollering.
Yeah, so they see a giant mushroom cloud, like a fucking nuclear bomb just went off. Like the Mad Max bomb went off, And they're just like, woo, we got him! And they're going up the road and everything. They're going to go survey the damage. So then they pull up to the car crash, right? And then they run down to the car to inspect it, which it still is not on fire. It's just a little teeny fire on the engine. And then while they're down there, Tiger and the girl just push their truck down the hill.
Which I did really like, although it doesn't make any sense. I would have preferred them just get in the yokel's truck and keep driving keep driving.
That would have made
But
too
yes,
much sense.
Pushing it down the hill so it crashes into their already crashed car.
Yeah, and then there's another explosion.
Is every vehicle in this town full of grenades?
Yeah.
We've yet to have even a collision that would warrant an explosion. Everything just blows up.
Yeah, because it just rolls into it about 1 mile an hour. It goes,
And it's one of those ding, boom.
And I write, this is the most bizarre prank war. It's just like, man.
The swinging raccoon.
Is this what yokels just do?
Yeah, it's like,
is this a
you
summer
blow
in
up
the
my
mountains?
car, I blow up your car.
They're going to go
all...
deer tipping at one point.
Because
Shining.
like, the level of the animosity is not like really high yet. It's just kind of like, I don't like you. And it's like, oh, I'm going to blow up your car.
I gotta say, it's something that it starts with, I'm going to blow up your car.
Because
I'm going to cut your brake line.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, Saab Q's not mad. He's just like, yeah, brakes don't work. Them boys are at it again, Them Duke boys are at it again.
Hey, considering everything you went through in the previous movie. This is nothing. Compared to that movie we missed.
Tiger and the girl are walking through the woods, and she goes, if you don't understand it now, I'm your daughter. I'm your freaking daughter.
Well, no, it comes up because he says to her, you're a real ball breaker. And she goes, I got it from you.
And he's like,
this is the I learned it from you PSA?
Yeah. And I love this, too, is she's like, I'm your daughter. Don't you remember you had a daughter? The last time I saw you, I was 8 years old. I'm your daughter. And he's like, I have a daughter? And I'm like, wait, hold up. Wait, whoa.
Yeah, where's this guy been?
Whoa.
I've been in prison, right?
You had an 8-year-old daughter. You got out of prison, and you didn't even think to be like, maybe I should, like, reach out or something.
Shit, right. I had a family before I went away.
Because and so this is the weird thing is, okay, she says that she was 8 years old, correct?
Yeah.
He was in prison for 8 years.
Yeah.
She's 16.
Oh, no, you're right, Tanner. She is 16.
I'm pretty sure that I would be able to recognize my child.
Yes.
After only 8 years.
Yes, of course you would.
It's not like there was a baby and it's 20 years later. I'm like, I don't know what that fucking baby
so
looks
maybe
like.
you think like, what, did he run out on the family? Maybe maybe the wife
earlier?
left him or something like that. Maybe he left them. No, because then you get the background, because he starts crying on a tree, flash it back, is that ginger guy went over to his house to go kill Tiger, and Tiger wasn't there, so he, at the same time, simultaneously stabbed and drowned his wife.
It's
the
brutal.
most
So here-
bizarre murder.
This is not in the version I saw.
Okay,
So I'm gonna be very questioning of what's going on, because from this scene where where I'm your daughter, there's a big jump cut in the version that I
Okay.
saw
So-
To just
and I
like
missed
the
a lot.
ending?
To them on the run.
Okay. So what happens is, apparently it was gonna be a Giallo movie, and then they just decided to make it a slasher mid-scene because like the guy is like with the black glove and he's like gonna put her head under the water, but they're like, we don't have, the tub's not full enough. Stab her in the throat, and it has that
Yeah,
too, and you're like,
it's-
dude, both.
It gets real Argento real fast.
Wow.
So yeah, no, he does the both just to make sure she's really dead. So you got to stab her in the throat, then also drown her because you just one may not be enough. And so then he's like crying because apparently the guy did that, and then it cuts to like Tiger's in this room with the ginger guy that apparently they're at the DA's house, and they're like, yeah, you don't have any proof that I murdered your wife or your partner, cop. Fuck you. And the DA's like, you don't have any proof. And Saab Q takes out a gun and just shoots the ginger guy. And they're like,
because fuck your proof.
yeah. He shoots him in the head. And then apparently the DA put him in prison. That's all you're going to learn. And you're like, why were they setting him up?
He got 8 years for killing the DA's son.
So that was the
Was it his
DA's
son?
son?
I'm assuming.
Oh.
Yeah, because otherwise you're like, what? He's
I mean,
going- I thought
the
they were, like-
relationships because of the ages seemed like that could be his son.
Oh, okay. Because I thought maybe they were like partners. Like lovers or something, because I thought
Hey, it
maybe
could be
that's
that
what was
too.
going. Yeah,
Who
'cause
knows?
that's
We
what I thought
didn't
was going
see
on.
the first
We
movie.
don't know. Yeah, Blastfighter 1, Blastfighter .5, I guess.
Blastfighter Origins.
But yeah, apparently that's it. That's all the background you're ever gonna get. We'll never flash back to anything more. But apparently, so his wife got murdered, and the ginger guy left his daughter alive. And so, like, you would think Tiger would want to go reconnect with his daughter because it's like, what a horrible thing that happened to your mother, and like I killed the guy who did it and everything. No, he just was like, I'm just gonna live in the woods and never talk to her again.
Speaking of living in the woods, you know information we don't get? Who raised his daughter?
Well, no, she does say, she's like, gee, I had to like live with grandparents and all this stuff. So she like,
I
bounced
think I
around
missed
for
that part
grandparents.
where she was
And
explaining that.
She even said, she's like, you get out of prison and you don't even think to call?
Valid.
And he's like, I'd be a shitty dad anyways. That's what he says. He goes, I would just be a shitty dad. I was a shitty dad to begin with. So
For
I
like
just
8
feel
years, I was a shitty dad.
Yeah, he was like, I was a shitty dad for 8 years. Then I went to prison. I'd be like, I'd probably still be a shitty dad.
In that scene, he rationalizes why he chose to go live in the woods. That at least the trees don't talk back to you or make you feel like a horse's ass.
Yeah, and again, so the daughter is like pouring her heart out at 11 because she's screaming all her dialogue. He's like, you never came back, you never talked to me, you never did. And he's like, at least the trees don't talk back. Am I
See,
right, guys?
This is why I live alone in the woods.
It's
Welcome back.
He's just
Yeah,
winking at the
I'll come
audience.
back.
He's like, am I right? Who wants to see that gun, huh? Let's get that thing back.
You just see him turn up the theme music. Drowns her out while she's yelling at him.
Okay, so then I write. So I know I'm supposed to like be on Tiger's side, but I'm like, dude, you're a fucking deadbeat, man.
He's
You're
kind of
shitty
a
dad.
prick.
You're a shitty dad and a prick. But then I'm back on his side because they go back to the cabin, and Connie, who's his daughter, goes like, oh, by the way, this is my boyfriend. I brought him to come stay with us. He's like, wait, what the fuck, man? I live in a studio cabin.
And we know the porch isn't comfortable.
Yeah, and he's like, well, I wasn't ready for guests. And she's like, yeah, this is my friend, my boyfriend. And I'm sorry, his name is like, it's not Stinky Pete, but his handle is something like...
His handle.
He has a handle because he's on a CB radio. That's what I call him for the rest of the movie. I'm sorry. Let me look it up. Nifty Pete.
Nifty
So
Pete.
he calls
Nifty
himself
Pete.
Nifty
Okay.
Pete. So she comes back to the cabin. She goes, so here's my boyfriend, Nifty Pete. He has a CB
Man,
radio.
we just reconnected, and your drummer boyfriend needs a place to stay.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm all big into CB. Are you cool with that? And he's just like, yeah. And then the guy...
mother, when I was a kid, was big into CB radio.
Oh, she have a
She had
handle?
a whole crew of friends. I don't remember what she went by, but I had decided I was going to be part of this too.
Oh, no.
I was like 5, maybe younger. And so I think I got it from some kind of ad campaign, but I decided my handle was Rude Dog.
Nice.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
How my dweebs doing tonight?
And so at like 4, I'd go grab her CB and be like, this is the Rude Dog. And someone would respond, and I'm only 4, so I'm just, hi. Hi.
Hi.
They're like, breaker 19, good buddy, come on back. I'm like, Hi.
Get the kid off the radio. Get him off.
So anyway, henceforth, I want you guys to only refer to me as Rude Dog, please.
Rude Dog.
Rude dog. So, was it? They must have thought it was some sort of like over the top type situation. We're like, it's one of them arm wrestling guys with his kid in the car. You know, teaching him the trade, teaching him the trucker trade.
Which is funny because my dad was a truck driver, as I've said on previous episodes, but my mom was the one on the CB radio. I wonder if that's the thing that brought them together. Except I told the story of what brought them together on a previous episode.
Yeah,
It's not
but you
the
did say
CB.
you can never watch Over the Top because it makes you cry thinking about those misadventures you never got with
He
your
never
father.
arm wrestled for my honor.
There was never a man who kidnapped you.
You want
at
to
a
talk about
pinball machine.
deadbeats? My old man never arm wrestled for my affection.
Do you remember the part in Over the Top when he randomly gets kidnapped at a pinball machine? Like, for no reason, his son gets grabbed?
Because the movie needed something. This can't just be about arm wrestling.
I don't remember that. I wish
It's
I
a
did.
really weird part in the movie.
Is it by
where-
a stranger or was it by
well,
one of the
it is by the guy
grandfather-
that Ben Gazzara's that
yeah.
he hired, you know. But like at that
Flash
point,
Norton
No,
ran in.
Stallone doesn't know.
It is. It's not Hank Gazzara. It's
I said
or
Ben Gazzara.
It's not
Yeah.
Ben Gazzara. It is
Hank Azaria is a very
Oh,
different
I'm sorry.
actor.
Ben Gazzara's in Roadhouse.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the other guy.
the orange guy.
Yeah, the orange guy.
Finch LaMotta from The Sopranos.
He's
God,
amazing.
What is his
though.
name?
He's amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. There's that part where they just grab Stallone's kid, and he's like, "What the fuck, man?" And he's just trying to figure out why anybody would just randomly
You
kidnap
had to
his
give
kid.
him something to go about.
He saw potential in him. He wanted to train him and make him into an arm wrestling champion. So.
Not to diverge too much, but it could have been like a rubber ducky situation with the CB. You could have had a convoy like come to your place. Just,
Toenails in the radiator, hibby jibby.
Chris Christopherson could have been there.
Oh, would have been great. Rocking through the night.
So also the guy who gave him the gun in the beginning of the movie just shows up again. He's like, "Hey, audience, remember me?" I'm like, "Is that guy? Is that guy in the beginning of the movie?" Because I don't know. You were dressed in a suit before, and now you're dressed again like some sort of brawny man, and I don't know who you are. And he starts referring to him by name. I'm like, did he have a name earlier in the movie? Because I don't know. I don't remember him talking. And then the only reason I know it's that guy is because he goes, "How's that gun I gave you?" I'm like, "Oh,
Like,
it's
oh,
that
right,
guy."
right,
It's Gun Guy. It's
Exactly.
Gun Guy.
Gun Guy.
You're Whistler.
Funny you say that because I just call him Gun Guy in my notes from now on. So we got Nifty Pete, Gun Guy, and Connie.
What a clan of expendables we have here.
And I would be I'm on Tiger's side again because he's like,
Fucking
yeah,
leave.
I said I wanted to be alone, and like now you brought all your friends with you and everything. So now it's nighttime. And he's like, "Yeah, I'd rather you guys go." And so like Connie and Nifty Pete have their tents set up in the front yard. And she's like, "Fine, we'll leave in the morning. You're the worst dad ever." And he's like, "Yeah, no, I'm a shitty dad."
It's all right. I'll get over it.
And she's like, "Why can't you be normal and like live with us and live a normal life? Why do you
can't
have
we
to
be a normal family?
Yeah, why do we
You,
have
me, and Nifty Pete.
Yeah. Do you want to try the CB? You didn't even let him look. He didn't even let him show it to you.
He
He's
brought
been
you your own CB.
so excited about it. He was talking all the way up how he wanted to show my dad the CB because he's like, he used to be a cop, so he'd probably appreciate it. He didn't even look at it. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm a shitty dad." And then
Aren't I, folks at home?
She's like, "I spent all this time with Grandpa." He's like, "All right, shut up." Somebody rolls barrels into the scene and they're on fire, and fucking Donkey Kong has started, apparently.
This all sounds amazing. I wish I had
Okay,
seen
You got
it.
none of this in your
None
All
of
of a
this.
sudden, you
I'll tell you when
Tanner,
I pick
Their
back up.
I'm not
campsite
even
gets
kidding.
firebombed.
all of a sudden the Donkey Kong music starts up and like it goes doo doo doo, and then all these barrels, these fucking flaming barrels, roll down the hill, and they start taking out the tent and everything. And they hit the van, and there's a part where Nifty Pete goes, no, my CB! And he's like in the van trying to save his CB, and Tiger like pulls him away. He's like, oh, you're gonna fucking die! And he brings his kid out of it. He's like, don't care about your life, not the CB. And then he grabs this big hammer and he starts hitting the barrels as they're rolling down on the campsite, and he's taking a few out.
Awesome.
But he still doesn't get up to Donkey Kong, and he ends up like getting hit by one, and he does a little flip in
he
the air and
didn't
everything.
learn the pattern. He didn't
know
learn
the pattern.
He's the worst dad.
He's a fucking Billy Mitchell. You know, he cheated.
Oh,
and that's the
that
big
guy's so
problem.
full of
Yeah.
shit. Saab Q.
Fucking douche. Wonderful
Allegedly.
hot sauce, though, Billy.
Allegedly.
Yeah, we don't want Billy Mitchell coming for our quarters.
He sued Regular Show.
He sued them?
Yeah, because they had a Billy Mitchell character.
Like an analog?
Like an analog of him, and he sued.
Because I was like, man, that'd be my
He's
dream.
got nothing to stand on.
Guys, please tweet at Billy Mitchell and get him to sue us. Maybe we might get some publicity.
Yeah, let Billy Mitchell know that we're talking about it.
Yeah. Up
Disgraced
yours,
video
Mitchell.
game champion.
We got your Kong right here, Mitchell.
We're on Team Weeby. That's for damn sure. So it doesn't work because fucking flaming barrels come down. This is what I write in my notes. I was like, Connie's trying to put on the waterworks and get Tiger to join them and be like some sort of CB gang on the road. And I write, but it doesn't work because fucking flaming barrels come into the scene. Flaming barrels. Bava, nice touch, right?
Excellent.
So, yeah, the whole place gets blown up and everything's fucked.
Does the cabin get destroyed as well?
Oh, I
Or is it
think
just
think the cabin's still there, maybe, because
But
he
the
does
vehicles
go
are
back later.
destroyed?
Yeah, you're never gonna really see it again. Oh no, but this is a great thing: is Nifty Pete wasn't trying to take a CB. When Tiger Sharp pulls him from the van, there's a dub line where he goes, "My insulin," which, by the way, will never be referenced again.
Well,
But I did love that part.
how much longer does it need to be referenced?
Dad, do you have any food? Because Pete really needs to eat.
He's crashing hard.
Did you have orange juice anywhere?
Yeah, anywhere? Nothing?
That's like in Freddy vs. Jason when they do the asthma reveal. He's like, I can't revive Jason. I have asthma.
It's like, yeah, we've all used that excuse. Yeah, and she's like, can I have this milk? And he's like, no, that's for my deer.
He's coming back, I swear.
And so then it's the next day by the river. They've set up a temporary camp. Don't worry, he saved the CB stuff because he's like, hey, guys, I'll call in the sheriff on my CB radio. And he calls in. He's like, Nifty Pete here, Nifty Pete. We're trapped by the river and everything. And Saab Q is just sitting there like, God, fucking damn it. All I wanted to do was go and live in the woods by myself. That's all I ever wanted. And I got my emotions got high because of the deer and everything. And oh, God, it's all gone to shit. And now this fucking girl claims my daughter showed up. And you know how I'm a shitty dad. He's like, this movie's really going to shit, guys. I don't know.
Donkey Kong's coming for me.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Go, gorilla, go.
And so then he just leaves the movie. He just turns and leaves.
Yeah.
He starts walking off set, and Connie's like, where are you going? And he's like, yeah, I'm going to go to town. And she's like, well, Nifty Pete's got the radio and everything. The cops are going to come in. And he's like, I don't care.
Once again, her dad's going out for smokes.
Yeah. He goes, I'm going to get some wheels. And you know when he means I'm going to get some wheels, he means he's going to wheel out of there and never come back. Yeah, you guys sit by the radio. Keep trying to see if you get...
It's a reference to how fast he's leaving.
And so then apparently he starts running in his Saab Q run, which is very, like
the T-1000.
Yes. And apparently he ran all the way to town.
Oh, do you think Saab Q auditioned to be the T-1000?
Oh, definitely. Right?
That son of a bitch, Robert Patrick, took it from him?
Do you think he also went out for Fire in the Sky?
Lost out to D.B. Sweeney?
Yeah. So apparently he ran all the way to town.
So he goes to town. Okay.
Yeah.
This is
He
interesting.
runs all the way there. Just like Robert Patrick, right?
Okay.
And then he runs into the police
Or
station.
Tom Hanks, depending on which movie
Yeah,
you want to link
didn't
it
even
to.
break a sweat. He runs into the police station, and he's like, yeah, can you help me get a car? And he goes, yeah, sure. What, you leaving town? And he's like, yeah, I think it's for the best. Those guys...
Yeah, the local police are really helpful when you need to skip town all of a sudden.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you need a car, Tiger? No problem. I'll just grab one from the impound, I guess, and just, fuck it.
You want one with or without cocaine in the trunk?
I know you, Tiger. I heard your daughter's in town. Trust me, there'll be a little present in the trunk for you.
The question was a formality. It's already gassed up.
And he's like, can you make sure it's a coupe? Because I don't want to bring Nifty Pete with me. I really don't.
There's no room in the car, Nifty. Wait, so is Gun Guy gone?
No. He's with Nifty Pete at the campsite.
Okay,
He's like, you got the sheriff on the phone yet? And everybody's like, I don't care. So then we go back to Nifty Pete at the campsite, and he's calling in help on the radio. That's what he first says, Nifty Pete, right? And so then Tiger has a car. He shows up at the lumber mill to talk to George Eastman, and he's like, hey, George, it's been nice knowing you, but I think I'm going to leave the movie. And he's like, oh, okay. Well,
get that.
It was nice seeing you, Saab Q. Sorry about the deer and everything. It's all a misunderstanding. He's like, but we're cool, right? And he's like, yeah, And that's when we get the story about the
two bucks that got stuck together and died that way.
And they're like, but we're never going to end up like that. You and me, we'll end as friends. And they're like, yeah.
We're not going to end up stuck together somehow.
Yeah. So they're like, we're having a gentleman's agreement. And they shake hands. They're like, all right, we're never going to fight again. Cut to Nifty Pete at the campsite, and then the yokels show up, and they wreck his radio. And he's like, oh, man.
Now he's just Pete.
Yeah. And then they kick him around for a while. And then
I gotta be honest, I wasn't feeling too bad about that.
No, I was like,
get him, Nifty Pete, kick him again for me.
Like, what if Tiger just showed up and he's like, Connie's like, they killed Pete, but they left me and the gun guy. He's like, okay, but I still got a car. So.
Or he shows up during the ass kicking and he just waits. He's like, I'm gonna give it a beat.
Yeah, he's looking through his shotgun scope, and he's just like, okay,
yeah. He's doing some stretches before he runs in.
He's like, what's funny is that I'm training my scope on Nifty Pete, and I don't have the same reaction as I did with the deer.
I could pull the trigger.
Yeah, I
could pull the trigger right now.
Yeah, before I couldn't do it. All of a sudden, you learn that it wasn't the yokels who wrecked the radio. It was actually
Saab Q.
Man, we didn't even touch that. It was a shotgun bullet.
Where did it even come
away.
from? He programmed some homing bullet from far away.
And so then
I wish the gun could do that.
Oh, you know this? He can bend bullets like Wanted.
After he gets beat up for a while, then the gun guy comes in. He lets them go ahead and just rough him up for a little bit. He's like a wrestler doing a run-in. Like, he's gonna wait until it's like, soften him up.
He's waiting for his music to hit.
Yeah. So then his music hits, and he's like, da, da, da,
and he slides under the ropes.
And he comes in. He doesn't even really try to stop him at first. He's like, hey, don't be mean to him. And then they make fun of him for his tight jeans or something. Like, look at this city cop boy. And then he tries to fight him. And remember, this man's a cop, right? And he just goes, with a fist. And it just glances him. And the yokels beat him up. And then they push his hand on a rock. And this is this really weird part where Tom's brother is like, what hand do you shoot with? Well, what hand do you jack off with? Well, you're going to jack off and shoot with the same hand. The left hand. And then they don't do anything to his hand.
Fake out.
Like you thought they were going to shoot it or something? No, they just kind of...
Yeah, you thought we were going to ruin your jack-off hand.
Nah.
Gets him every time.
The look on your face.
Oh, man. You thought you were never going to jack off again. I wouldn't do that to you. What am I, a monster?
Well, I know the simple pleasures.
I mean, am I right? They just kind of push it up against the rock and they're like, we'll do something to it.
Yeah, we're thinking of something.
But we don't.
Oh, they're yokels. It takes them longer.
Oh, we were supposed to shoot it. Damn. But no, they're like,
we're going to roll a barrel at your jack-off hand.
And then there's a part you said wasn't in your movie where they cut out the rape, which thank God. They try and rape Connie, and that's when gun guy wakes up, and then he's like, I'm going to stop you from the rape. And then they shoot him.
They
and
straight up kill him.
Yeah, he dies.
And there's that realization of oh, shit, we just killed this cop. No witnesses.
Yeah. Yeah, because all of a sudden they're like, oh, we killed a cop. And I'm like, so wait a second, it was okay to beat him up? Because it's still assaulting a police officer.
That's the rules of this small town.
They're like, oh, you killed him. No witnesses. And then Nifty Pete goes up and he goes, no, not the radio. And then they shoot him dead and he goes, and he falls into the river. And Connie's like, no, not Nifty. Oh, and then Tiger just shows up.
10-4 on Nifty Pete.
Tiger just kind of shows up and he's looking around and he's like, okay, well, they killed the two people I don't care about. Actually, maybe if they kill Connie.
No witnesses.
I'd be able to be alone. Christ. Da-da.
Yeah. So they turn up the music and Connie runs away and then they run after her and then Tiger finds Connie and he covers her mouth and he's like, shh. And she's like, what? Screaming. He's like, shut up, shut the fuck up.
Use your fucking inside voice.
Damn it. And then the yokels shoot him and they run away. So this must be where the movie
This is where I pick up back up.
You've lost a lot of
now
stuff.
I wondered where that car came from.
Okay. So this is the best line maybe in the movie, though, is when Connie goes, Pete, I can't leave Pete. And Saab Q goes, Pete is dead. Come on.
And this is where I said...
You messaged me, Tanner. You're like, who the fuck is Pete?
Who the fuck is Pete?
Because the entire Nifty Pete subplot
that entire section is gone.
Version.
So you never even saw Pete's face or anything?
You saw the Saab Q cut.
I saw it's all Saab Q.
He edited out Nifty Pete.
That's true. If Saab Q was not there for it, he is...
the Deadbeat Dad edition.
Yeah, so my wife and I on the couch Sunday morning, we both look at each other. This is a rare instance where my wife stayed more than 10 minutes in a movie. We both look at each other. We're like, "Who the fuck is Pete?" And
It doesn't matter because Pete's dead.
It's the deer. Must have been the deer.
But Connie never saw the deer. And then my wife like gets up and she's like, "Just for once, I would like to sit and watch one of these movies with you and understand what the fuck is happening." And then she was done.
And you were like, "Not today,
Not today.
And you turn up your own soundtrack.
Evening Star.
So then Tiger and Connie, they get to the car, right? And the yokels show up as Tiger's getting to the car, driving away. They're like, "We're gonna get him," and
We're gonna get his jack off head.
yeah, we'll get him real good, or maybe not. And so then Tiger says, like, "All right, Connie, I'm gonna pull the car up." And here's the thing: he doesn't know that the yokels are around, but he goes like, "You sit there in the bushes, and I'm gonna get the car. And then when I pull up, you can run into the car, or I'll just drive away." He's like, no, don't get in the car yet. I'll come and get you because you
Just
can't
wait
run
here.
and stuff. So then he pulls up, and then the guns go off. He's like, "Oh fuck, now I need to save her." And she runs to the car, and they're shooting up the car, and everything gets stopped. He's like, "Ah!" And everybody's like, "Oh my god!" And then the car blows up.
Car explosion number 3.
Yeah, and I but not really, just kind of a fire.
Yeah, I mean, not great.
Yeah, the Bava cut. You know, they couldn't. They're like, "You can't light a fire in the woods, Mr. Bava." And he's like, "Oh, just a little one." And they're like, "No."
Wait, that's not what Bava sounded like.
Oh, just a little fire. Oh, just a little to warm your hands and feet.
No, you can't. So then we cut to Tiger and Connie, and they've somehow got away. Like, we just cut to them, and they're like, "It's an Italian movie. You don't need to explain it. We're away now from the bad guys." And they're like, "Okay, this is cool." So we're just running around the woods, and then Tiger tells Connie, he's like, "Keep moving." She's like, "I just want to stop. I'm tired."
Yeah,
and
she
he's
is
like,
tanked. They're on some rocks at a creek.
And she's like, "I'm tired." And he's like, "Also, keep your fucking voice down." Like, God damn.
But his pep talk for her, which I think we should drop in here.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely add this in.
Come on, let's go.
No. I just can't.
Hey now. Where's the girl that said she was so strong? Where's your balls, Connie?
What did you say?
I said we gotta get going.
Call me Connie.
What do you want me to call you?
This is the first time you've said my name. Okay. Give me a hand, Dad.
What? You know, and you think she's offended by the fact that he asked where her balls were, and she went, "You called me Connie.
You called me. That's the first. She goes,
The first time you've called me by my name
I said, "Now or ever?"
in her
Because
life."
even at 8, he wouldn't call. He's like, that one, the loud one.
The
I'm
kid.
I'm a bad dad.
He really is the worst daddy. If she's like, when yelling at about her balls, she got touched by the fact that he even said her name, that he knew what her name was.
I feel like Saab Q's regular life is like he's sitting in front of the TV. He's just got off a long shift. This daughter of his is going, like screaming at him, and his wife's like, "Could you pay attention to her?" And he goes, "I'm a bad dad. I'm a bad dad," as he just opens another beer.
You knew that when you married me. I did not know that when I married
said
you.
I was a bad dad and I didn't want to have kids.
That's right. King in his castle.
He just called her, your daughter.
Yeah. Your daughter's over here.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, that's apparently what happened. So this is the first time he's ever said her name. They've had a bonding moment, It
Hey,
just took the death of Nifty Pete.
While most don't want to admit it, we all know somebody who resents their kid. We've all seen it.
Oh, yeah.
We know you're out there listening.
Yeah, write to us. Hashtag,
Let us know if you resent your child.
Sop Dad. So she apparently just needed the love of her father to get up and run again, because she's like, "Okay, I guess I can run
That's
now."
your can of spinach.
Da-na-na. So then Tiger and Connie climb across a waterfall. It's just an excuse to do something for 5 minutes, because he's
Yeah.
like, "Here, hold on to this belt," and she's like, "I can't," and he's like, "Oh my god," with this voice, and he's just dragging
This fucking kid.
Basically, we see Michael Saab Q dragging a girl across a waterfall. He's like, "Why don't you use your feet? Be a lot fucking easier instead of me dragging you across here. Or we could just, swim across the fucking lake that's right there." But I decided to walk across the goddamn
It's like
waterfall.
Last of the Mohicans.
Yeah. He wanted to do it the
Exactly
cool
like
way.
Last of the Movie.
He was kind of hoping that the waterfall would just brush her away.
He likes to use waterfalls to solve his problems.
And she goes, "I can't swim." He goes, "Bad dad. I'm a bad dad." So then they make it across. I go, it's very anticlimactic. And then the yokels show up and they go, "God damn, they made it across that waterfall. I guess we gotta go do something else.
Throwing their hats on the ground.
Yeah, like, oh, shit. We can't walk 5 feet down the river and go where it's not
That's the safe
rapids.
zone.
Yeah.
None of us got belts to hang on to. How are
would've
we
been great.
supposed to
They
cross
got,
this
like, a-
waterfall?
Whole belt. 3
We
guys.
gotta use the buddy system.
And they're like, Saab Q, can you help us get across? It's not fair that you help your daughter. You're a bad dad. You know that. They're dragging Nifty Pete with them, too. I can't forget Pete. Okay, you know what? We got to stop doing this weekend at Birdie's
There's
routine.
3 of us. We gotta bring the body so there's an equal number for the buddy system.
She also says something about having better bubble baths than that or something. I'm like, I don't get the joke.
Sure.
But whatever. Somebody dropped that into the ADR booth. They're like, yeah, say some joke or somebody got to laugh. So then the yokels show up, yeah. Then we go to Tiger and Connie, and she's like, I can't wait to get to town. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't wait to get to town. And he's like,
That's
shut
better.
the fuck up, Connie. And then they know she frown faces as she sees 12 new trucks pull up, and they're like, woo, we gonna kill us a Yankee. And they're like, he's from here.
They don't know any different.
And so then they're like, damn. And then she's just like, oh, fuck, what are we going to do? And he's like, shut the fuck up. Because what we're going to do, I'm like, we're going to shut the fuck up. I don't understand how they can't already tell where they are because they're on top of a hill and she's screaming down into a valley. I can't believe they're here. They're going to kill us. And
The echo. It's going to mask
all of a
it.
sudden she
Yeah.
looks back and
This is like the end of Evil That Men Do. It's just ricocheting off stuff. You can't tell where it's coming from.
Could you imagine her just screaming into that gully and turning around and Saab Q's just walking away? She's like, where are you going? Bad dad.
Happy Father's Day.
Would you have been surprised if he just kind of gave her a little nudge?
No.
While she was
At this
screaming?
point, absolutely not.
And so then the yokels are having a real party, so they're breaking up. Guys, they're breaking out. Not the Coors Lights, man. We're doing it right, man. Banquet style. Coors Banquets.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Because it's a special occasion. And you only break out the Coors Banquets for those, tablecloth affairs.
It's true.
This
That's
is like
the rule of the Grindbin
Yeah.
the whole time.
This is like the scene in Dawn of the Dead when before they get to the mall where they show all the like rednecks hunting zombies out there drinking beer and just having a good old time.
Yeah.
Oh, Tom Savini and his friends when they're all.
Oh, no, this is like before.
They're the
Okay,
bikers at
yeah.
the end. We're talking about earlier, right before we get the helicopter.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
During the fun montage that they use actual National Guardsmen for.
And they're like, we're bringing
Because it's
out.
fucking Pennsylvania, and they're like, yeah, we're not doing anything. We'll be in the movie.
Dude, we're doing
As a
this.
Pennsylvanian, that scans.
Yeah.
We're doing this shit classy. Break out the banquet. You know, that's what I've always said about Coors Banquet. You know, you go to somewhere that's got Coors Banquet, you're like, oh, we're doing it right tonight.
Yeah. You're like, am I underdressed?
I know. I'm like, good thing I got a bow tie in my car at all times.
Always keep one. Keep one next to the gun.
Yep. Bringing my Spaz 12.
You never know what you might need. You need a bow tie and a Spaz 12 at all times.
And you know what's funny is that the shotgun also shoots Coors Banquets out of it with the right bullet. So. Now that's a Coors commercial.
Set this thing to party.
Oh my God!
Oh, yeah.
Come on!
Bow,
How is that
bow.
never a commercial? Some guy's hunting for deer or something like that, and they're like, "Oh fuck, we forgot the Coors." Set it to party.
Just turns and fires at his partner.
Yeah. Fires it right into his chest.
But he sits up with it.
Yeah, he Dick Cheney's him, you know. And he dink. That was the whole problem. Is Cheney thought he had the Coors gun. He thought he had the Coors
He
bullets.
forgot to set it to party.
be a party.
Tiger and Connie are at some shitty shack by the lake or something, and she's like,
Oh, I love her line when they approach. She says, that looks like a vampire roost. What?
"Stay tuned for demons, everybody."
Yeah.
Fucking Italians. Jesus.
Did your version not have the part with the vampires?
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
I missed
dude.
out so
It was
much.
on it was the third Donkey Kong level. It just showed up. Yeah, she's all mad. She's like, "I bet you're looking for a weapon." And he's like, "What the fuck else would I be looking for? For God's sakes, we're being chased by angry rednecks. Like, what else would I be looking for, Connie? You're always doing violence, you know. You and you're a bad dad." And he's like, "I've always said that. I've always said that." So they're looking around for weapons. There are weapons. And then she's like, he says something like, "Hey, do me a favor, put yourself in that fucking canoe and go out in the lake." And she goes, "You better not make me an orphan." And he's like, we'll see.
Not an orphan.
When did you become a mind reader?
Okay, because do you guys see what I'm seeing? Is that the yokels show up and they're like, "Oh, look, that girl's in the canoe," and then they start firing at it, and I'm like, "He just put her out in the middle of the lake as bait."
Oh yeah.
But then she's not in the canoe. They within seconds built a Connie dummy.
Well, you see, it was all part of the plan because he knew she'd talk so fucking loud that they'd hear the plan. So he told her she was going in the canoe. She's like, "You want me to go in that canoe?"
And they're like, "She's gonna go in the canoe. Just let her go." I mean, they could hear it for miles. They're like, "You know how we're gonna track her? Just listen. That's it." You don't even have to lower your voices that much, guys. Just go ahead and talk normal voices. We'll
Enjoy
hear
your Coors banquet.
Yeah, go ahead and pop as many as
All right,
you
if I
want.
pop this open, boss.
Oh no, don't worry. We can hear her. So then, apparently they built a Connie dummy and put it in the middle of the lake with the canoe because they shoot at it and it's never explained what was in there. But they're like, "Oh, we didn't get her." And then Saab Q and Connie go out in a canoe, and I'm like, "Fucking Dinosaur Valley." He was also in a canoe in that movie, so I'm like, "Oh, again with the canoe." It's the Saab Q.
Saab Q canoe.
Saab Q canoe. So yeah, they I don't know where they're going.
Yes, because apparently town is a Terminator T-1000 brisk run away, but it takes them fucking forever to get anywhere. But also
But they're basically in like a tiny lake with a canoe, and they're like, "We're gonna get away from the bad guys in this lake." Then they go into a river from there, apparently.
Yeah, but he also tosses Molotov cocktails.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he tosses Molotov cocktails.
Yeah, a redneck does get Molotoved, and in the panic of that, he wets himself, and the other rednecks laugh at him.
And he runs away.
Hey, he sprung a leak, is what they say.
Oh, you pissed when you were on fire.
So then, yeah, they canoe away in a lake, which then turns into a river. And she's like, "There's rapids." And he's like, "I know, I can fucking see them."
I took you to the noisiest place in this valley, the rapids. Hopefully this works out.
And her voice still carries for miles.
Like, fuck, I thought it would work.
And so then she's like, "We're going to tip over." And he's like, "Not if I have anything." Oh my God, we tipped over. And then she's like, "I don't know how to swim," or something. He goes, "Just stand up. You're in 2 feet of water. Stand up," because at the point when she's like, I can't swim," it's literally 2 feet of water. We're watching an Italian actress just splash around like a puppy that's been thrown in a pool or something. She's just like, I can't do it. He's like, use your legs. There you go. Stand up. And then the yokels show up and he goes, "Connie, stay behind the rock. Connie, stay behind the rock." And she goes, "What? Run into the open?" And then just runs into the open and gets gunned down right in the fucking ankle.
Yeah, this yokel who looks like Vince McMahon just puts a bullet in her. He really does.
Yeah. And then she falls to the ground and Saab Q's like, "Great, now I got to do this one." So he runs over and he picks her up and he's like, "Hey guys, hold your fire. Come on guys, hold your fire." And he just takes her away behind another rock and he's like, "All right."
And everyone graciously holds their fire.
Mm-hmm.
They don't pursue. They just
they
give them time.
He's like, "Now we're gonna have like an episode of ER. I'm gonna show everybody in the audience how to like set a leg."
It's pretty gross. Was it out in your version?
No,
there?
it's in my version and it makes me uncomfortable.
He says, "I'm gonna set the bone. Can you handle it?"
Oh wait, hold on. First, Bobby, how far away are the yokels? You'd say
they can't be too far.
I mean, maybe a first down. 10 yards, right?
Pretty
like
solid.
Maybe a first down.
Like if they threw a rock, they might hit him.
Oh, they would. They would definitely hit him, right? And Saab Q's even like, "Come on, guys, hold your fire. Come, my daughter's hurt. Come on." And he's like carrying her behind a rock. And then he's like, "Okay, first we got to take out the bullet." She's like, "They're right there." And he's like, "It'll take them a while."
Oh, right. They got to remove the
He's
bullet
like,
first.
"The rednecks don't know how to swim. They're going to try to walk around the whole thing.
They don't got no belts."
Yeah, he's
Rednecks
like,
don't
"I
have-
took all their belts."
They don't have object permanence. Once we went behind the rock, we ceased to exist.
All right, make a chain of your belts, boys, because we got to go across this 2 feet of water that's not a rapid. And they're like, "We'll get to you soon. Hey, don't run." And he's like, "All right, first we're going to take out the bullet, and then we have to watch him take out the bullet
Yeah, he
with a
digs
knife."
a knife into because right, this was made by an Italian, so there's like a gross ass knife.
You got to have that leg scene, knifey leg scene.
Knifey leggy.
Yeah, and then Bobby
And then he says, I got to set the bone because her bone got shattered by the bullet.
and Connie,
he
like
goes,
the audience, is like, "Really? We're
Like,
gonna watch this too?"
"You shitting me?" And he goes, "Can you handle it?" And she goes, "I've got your blood in me."
Oh, right. He's finally coming around. He's like,
And
despite all your shortcomings, I kind of like.
we have a nice little moment here, and then he fucking ruins it.
Yeah.
because he's the worst dad ever. And so as he's setting this, he goes, yeah, there's 100 ways to feel pain, but only one way to feel pleasure. Doesn't seem fair, does it? What the fuck, Saab Q? That's your daughter.
What the fuck, man?
Did they shoot this out of order and he hadn't read that part of the script yet?
He's like, I know you nifty. I know why they cut it. And she's like, Dad, this is not.
Yeah.
I'm 16, please.
Yeah.
Well, he was like, it's about time for that talk.
That was his birds in
You
the
are,
piece.
yeah, you are 16.
Look,
Do you know about?
I
before you
understand
die?
that it's probably not an issue with Nifty Pete anymore, but you might meet some other nifty guy.
Yeah, and always remember, like I wrapped this leg, you're gonna want to wrap that leg, okay? Or else there'll be more of you running around, and you'll have to tell a kid you're a bad mom.
Because
It runs in the family.
you'll have a shitty kid too.
And if she's anywhere or he's anywhere as loud as you'll see what I mean. Do you think Saab Q at some point's like, you know what, I'm just going to go shoot my partner and go to prison because I cannot go home to that shrieking
I don't know how to
anymore."
get out of this relationship. Now there's kids involved, and that just makes it. Ugh. But I tell you, like, one of my things that I can't handle so well is bone stuff. Like,
You've always been against bone stuff.
I can't handle bone, bones shatter, poking out of things.
Pokey bones.
No, I loved Bloodsport as a kid, but there's a part where guy gets his femur broken. That I fucking gag. I cannot
never
handle.
made it past that part. Don't know how it ends.
Yeah. It ends with
The femur break, and then
femur
that's how the
break,
movie
and
ends.
then end of movie.
I've always
I
been
return it to the video store as quickly as possible.
You're like, this had bone stuff. I want my $1 back.
I don't like bone stuff.
the Tanner cut. Just
No
stop.
bone
I take out all bone stuff.
Yeah, I've always been that way with fingernail stuff.
Oh yeah.
Anytime a fingernail breaks, it's like no.
Yeah, I don't like fingernails.
It's like every time when I watch The Ring, it has that part where somebody puts their fingernail through a nail or some shit. I'm like, God damn it! Get you every time when you watch that Ring tape.
I don't know if I have
When
one of
you
those
said
things.
Ring, I immediately thought Lord of the Rings, and I was like, yeah, there's lots
Yeah.
of gross Hobbit fingernails in that movie.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's the part. See, I would never finish the Ring tape. I turn it off right at the fingernail, and everybody's like, "You watch that tape, you're gonna die." I said, no, I didn't. Never
I
finished
finished
it.
it.
Remember that
Yeah.
scene where the Uruk-hai pull off Frodo's fingernails?
Yeah, man.
That was
Meat's
brutal.
back on the menu, boys.
Hardcore. By the way, speaking of that line,
Oh, that line took me out of that entire film series.
because all you could
what-
picture was a goblin restaurant.
What
Yeah, I
line?
was like, Uruk, I don't know what the fuck a menu is.
A menu? Did Tolkien write that line? Hell no.
No, he did.
Really?
That's in the original. That's
That's
why
some
it's there.
bullshit.
But because to make this
Hey,
a Lord of the Rings
this is
podcast,
his world, all right? They got menus.
the Uruk-hai have a very different origin in the books. So it makes sense that they could have a weird goblin orc culture that includes restaurants. But in the movie series where the Uruk-hai are literally pulled out of giant gelatinous sacks, that's it. That's how Uruk-hai are made. They don't know what a fucking menu is. Come on, man.
Well, welcome to the Lord of the Rings
Lord
cast.
of the
you,
Rings
Peter
cast.
Jackson.
Yeah.
Man.
Fuck you,
Hack.
Peter.
You
Yeah.
hack. Go back to the Frighteners.
Listen, Swifty Peter Jackson.
Swifty Pete.
What is the name? Shifty Pete?
Nifty Pete.
Nifty Pete.
He
Nifty
sure acted
Peter
like
Jackson.
Shifty Pete sometimes.
He was a Shifty Pete.
Yeah, he was.
He was a real Shifty Pete.
So, anyways, back to the movie. They're still dressing the leg, right?
Oh, God,
And then
bone
he's
stuff.
like, he's doing like a fucking Bear Grylls, and he's like, then I gotta set me leg and everything, and it's like, okay. And so then he's like, can you walk on it? I don't think the yokels are here yet. And then they just kind of walk away, and the yokels are like, did we get the belt? Oh, God damn it, they're running away.
We waited
Cut.
too long.
So what happens is after he dresses like, they start to walk away, and the yokels are like, hold on, we're going to shoot you. And then all of a sudden a helicopter shows up, and it's
Yeah.
like, and Tom goes, hey, guys, I'm here. Forgot to tell you the war's not going on. I hope you didn't kill that nifty character. But we're not fighting Michael Saab Q or Tiger Shop. We're not doing that now. And they're like, too late.
Oh, for God's sake.
We
And
escalated things
We did it
really,
again,
really
boss.
big. Really big, boss.
So here's the thing. Not only did Dinosaur Valley also have a canoe, it also had a fucking helicopter. And
These
I'm
are
like,
Saab Q signatures.
yeah, it's just the same thing. He's like, I'm
There's
back on that
there's a Saab
fucking
Q
island.
formula. It makes you hope that this movie's going to end with him making a bunch of spears.
I thought it was gonna be like kind of maybe like a Jacob's Ladder thing where he's gonna wake up and he's still in that that bamboo prison from Dinosaur Valley.
Oh,
And
I
he's
thought
like,
I
this
thought
was all
maybe he'd
just-
wake up in the back of a banana truck. Be like, well, that was the damnedest
Oh,
thing.
damn, yeah. So then, yeah, she's still screaming as he's carrying her off and everything. And then Tom flies the helicopter over. He's like, hey, can we end the movie? Tiger, are we cool? And he's like, hey, how about this? I know like a bunch of people got killed and all, but how about we just call it even right now? And he goes,
Daughter's life for my brother's freedom.
yeah, and Tiger's like, hey, he's thinking about it. He's like, but I don't like my daughter. He's like,
It's like, give me 10 minutes to think about it.
and his daughter's like, go ahead and save yourself. Just do it, Dad. I know you do it anyways because you're a shitty dad. Go be that shitty dad I always dreamed of.
He's like, oh, finally she gets me.
And then he's like, God damn it, because you said it. Now I can't do it because every time you say something, then I don't want to do it.
Now
and
it's going to seem like your idea.
And so then he's like, fine, the war's over. Fine. And then he stands up and Tom's like, okay, the war's over, everybody. Kablam! They shoot the daughter anyways.
I did not expect it.
Oh, really? It swerved you, huh?
They did.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
I got
All
swerved,
right.
bro.
Because, yeah, they shoot her. And she's dying on the ground. And she's dying, man. She's dying.
I'm fucking dying. Say the fucking words. Got it. Fuck you, I'm dying.
It takes a long fucking time to die from one of those.
And then all of a sudden we cut to the Wrath of Khan as Saab Q stares up into the sky and he goes, Connie!
It's the Wrath of Cotty.
And then Tom says, you know what this means? This is what he says to his brother. He goes, you know what this means? There's only one way you're going to stop Tiger now. You're going to have to kill him or he'll rip you apart. Guess
I
that's
like that
why
he's turned into like his Troutman. You know, he's like, oh no, God would show mercy. Now you're all gonna die.
Now we know why they call him Tiger. So now we cut to a montage of I write Tiger wrecking fools with a knife, and I write, I mean, goddamn.
Yeah, he goes full
Yeah.
deadly prey at this point.
He is fucking diving out of trees like a tiger. He's like, like doing
Like
his
a
little-
tiger would dive with a knife.
Yeah, and instead of his claws, he's like, and he's
Like a Georgia tiger.
like a
Is that,
Like
a, is that a
Scorchy.
football team? Is that one of the
Yeah,
high
the Georgia
schools?
Tigers.
Go Tigers!
because he's like diving at guys with the tiger. They got guns, and they're like, oh shit! As watching him like rip dudes' intestines out with his knife. They're like, fuck, man, hope he doesn't do that to me.
I don't know. I feel like if even if I had a gun and I saw a guy doing that, I'd be like, I'm out. Like, I'm getting out of here.
because he's climbing, he's like on all fours running. And so the yokels are running away as Tiger's like then shooting him now. Then the yokel brother gets in a helicopter and he's like, let's go get this fucking guy. And Tom's like, are you sure you want to do this, man? I think we should just let him go, dude. Like, we're really fucked. And he's like, no. And then they go and he like thinks he's going to shoot him. And then Tiger shoots him in the leg and he's like, oh, fuck, it's only a flesh wound. I'm fine. And Tom's like, you know, he could kill you right now. He's just fucking with you, right? And he's like,
Tom spends the rest of this movie just like, we're all fucked.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's coming.
they still go fly around with the helicopter for a long time.
Well, they got the rental. we got to use up the time.
We gotta use all of it,
It costs the
man.
same whether we return it early or not.
Then like just we get a lot of Tiger just running around. Then he like takes a dude out Hitman style with like the piano wire type of thing, you know. I'm
Like
like,
disguised as a baker.
That's right. That's how you fucking beat Hitman levels right. You know, I never use a gun, only piano wire, man. That's how you get the 5-star rating.
All right.
You know, so you got to do.
You always get frustrated when you're watching your friend play and he just goes guns
You're
blazing.
like, come
it's
on,
fucking
man!
Halo. It's
no,
not.
you gotta fucking
The
get
point of the game is the sneaky pie. You can't.
Yeah, you gotta get the waiter outfit before you can go in and get the. You know, you gotta do it in
You gotta
order,
Batman
man.
that shit, man.
Man, you can't just fucking go in and shoot the guy.
Sometimes I just go in and shoot everyone.
No.
Come on, Tanner.
Hey, sometimes you got to vent a little and, you know, start a level
Okay,
with
when
different
I said watching
kinds of
a friend
weapons.
play, I meant Tanner.
Yeah. Sometimes, like everyone,
Leroy
no one makes it
Jenkins.
out alive.
And so then we see him rappel down a wall for a while.
Sure.
And this is the best part is the yokels run up and they start shooting him and the brother's like, cut the rope. And they're like, bam, 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 bam. He cut the fucking rope. And he's like, bam, bam, bam. We're out of bullets, boss. What do we do? Cut the fuck. And they, cut the rope. And then they cut the rope. And then for about 10 more minutes, we watch them run around and there's a bridge scene. And
He somehow survives them cutting the rope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought there maybe was
I was like,
another
oh, shit, they
little
cut the
jump
rope.
cut, but
yeah.
no.
Like they got him.
he was only halfway down the mountain when they cut the rope.
Like it's full. They just threw a dummy down a mountain and then they just cut to him running again.
Well, like a cat, you always land on your feet.
that's right.
Like a tiger.
Ooh.
I keep thinking you're gonna do
Okay.
Scorchy every time you make that noise.
I really would love it if Saab Q went all tiger style and he like painted himself and he
Put
goes
stripes
on
on
all
his
fours.
back?
Yeah, and he goes like he's like hissing at people and
Man.
stuff, and they're like, "Holy shit, man!"
It's like that French movie where the guy goes into the desert and like thinks he's like a cheetah.
I don't know this movie, but I'm very interested.
God damn it!
Which
I wish
French
I remember.
movie is this? Is this Amelie?
No, yeah.
Yeah. So then at Tiger's house, he goes back. He gets the gun. We know the movie's started. Finally,
We finally have
like
the
10 minutes
the Smash
left.
TV gun.
Movie started.
And then the title card literally comes up, so now we
Yeah,
know
it
the
goes.
movie started.
Welcome
And then-
to Blastfighter.
So here's the thing: he loads it with those hipster filament bulb yeah, they're artisan bullets.
Yep.
It's like, have you ever watched a guy pour coffee for 5 minutes? Imagine watching a guy make these shotgun bullets, man. It's an art, And he makes
It's very
the heart
soothing.
with
There's
it
a
and
whole
everything.
cable channel where it's just that.
So then, he's just shooting things and like, okay, this thing is like a doom gun in that it has like some sort of incendiary rounds in it where it lights people on fire. It blows up trucks. He's blowing up trucks
I gotta
left
say
and
though,
right.
I really appreciate that he dresses up like Bronson in Death Wish 2.
Hell yes, he puts on the Bronson beanie.
He does the whole thing.
Yeah. And it goes, dun, and we get this nice montage of him shooting people. He blows a fucking guy's arm off.
I love that.
Like he just sets it to dismember.
Yeah, and they're riding in a Jeep, and all of a sudden this arm just goes flying
Like, he
off.
might as well have
flying
like
off.
fired a buzzsaw blade out of that thing.
It
The way
was
the arm just
awesome.
comes off.
And they go, holy shit, he blows off.
It's like that scene in The Jackal where Bruce Willis shoots off Jack Black's arm.
I don't think I've seen that.
You
But
ever
now
saw-
I'm
does anyone
interested.
remember The Jackal?
Yeah.
No.
It's like the last cool Bruce Willis movie.
So then, he shoots the dude's arm off. More trucks. He just shoots more of them. Then all of a sudden, he puts on what you think's gonna be a grenade launcher or like a rocket launcher. Like, holy shit, this thing's a fucking RPG, man. He's gonna no, it's just a giant smoke bomb. It's like a magician smoke bomb that looks like an RPG, which was very anticlimactic for me. I was like, come on, you can't have something that big and just have it be you see this thing fire off, you're like, oh man, it's going to be like, it's like in American Gladiators, when they'd pick up in the assault course, when they'd pick up that big bazooka thing, you're like, here it goes, baby. It's just a little
Thump.
dribble.
Rubber ball. Thump, rubber ball.
Yeah, he just shoots a shitload of people, and then he kills one dude, and then the brother just pulls up in a Jeep and almost dies off screen.
Yeah.
As he just shoots him, the Jeep explodes, and then he looks over the body. He's like, yeah, I guess that's solved. Okay. Yeah. Oh, he does explode a dude. You could have had that with the brother, right? But no, he just explodes a random yokel and then burns the brother in an off-screen death. It's kind of like Return to Swamp Thing when they kill the incel guy.
Yeah.
Just kind of off-screen. You're like, oh, guess he's dead. That was it.
For all we know.
Yeah.
I mean,
And so then
sets it to party for one guy.
here we go, guys. It's the top of that waterfall. Those two bucks. They're getting their antlers caught.
Finally
right?
got it. These two stags.
The thing we've always wanted to see, the main event, right? We've gotten through the undercard. Here we go. We got Saab Q.
wife.
We got Saab Q,
I don't care.
Eastman. They
Finally.
both got guns. They say one bullet each.
Yep.
Eastman's got his shotgun. Saab Q's got his handgun. Because, oh, by the way, after he kills the brother, Saab Q takes his giant gun and goes, I hate guns! And he
beats
starts
it against a
smashing.
tree.
Yeah, and then he throws it in the woods, and George Eastman shows up. He goes, that was a bad move, Tyga. And he goes, damn.
I can't believe you did that.
Yeah. And he goes, no, don't worry. I got my old-timey gun. And we're going to have like a Aaron Burr.
Hamilton, Aaron Burr.
Yeah.
Lin-Manuel Miranda runs in, starts rapping about what's going on.
Wait for it.
Yeah, that would have been great.
That would have been a great way to end it.
So, yeah, they're like, all right, we each got one bullet. All right, ready, draw. And then Saab Q just jumps in a bush. And George Eastman's like,
He pulls a Batman.
what the fuck, man?
You're like, did he just jump in that bush? He's looking around.
And then George Eastman just uses his one bullet and doesn't hit him. And then he walks up and he's like, I had another bullet in the chamber, though, because I'm not a dumbass. And Saab Q's like, well, I got a bullet, too. And then they both shoot each other, right?
This
And
is where the two stags get stuck together.
Yeah, Saab Q shoots him in the kneecap, which I'm like, fuck, man. Which also, by the way, there was something I don't think they addressed is like George Eastman can't walk correctly. He has a limp.
He's a limp.
And it was supposed to be, they mentioned it earlier in Blastfighter .5 that Saab Q had fucked up his leg a long time ago.
During their falling out.
Yeah, during their falling out.
And now
that's why-
miraculously, this shot's fixed it.
Yeah.
Knocked it right into place. He's like,
So-
oh, thank you. He's like bending his knee.
He's
what
jumping
I was
around like
wondering
Tiny
is-
Tim at the end.
Did he?
I'm
did
scared.
he take out the bum leg, or did he take out the other leg?
I
You
thought
know
he
what I mean?
I thought he took out the other leg, so now he's
Yeah.
got 2 bum legs.
That's what I was thinking.
So he's
Man, he
even
shot him
more
in his jack
worthless.
off.
Yeah.
That's how it ends. He goes, "I shot you in your jack off leg," and then he walks off.
You have to learn how to jack off with your other leg.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Apparently, this movie ends with him. He just Saab Q just walks over to George Eastman. He goes, "Tom, it was a bad move for all of us, Tom. We're gonna have to pay for it." Then the next shot is just them both in the truck, and like Saab Q's driving Tom to town. And
love
Tom
this.
is like got his leg hanging out the window. He's like, "Man, you done fucked up both my legs." And he's like, "Well, we're driving to town. Evening starlight." And that's
in
it.
sort of
No,
a
no, no,
cool-
wait,
Whoa,
no,
wait a
whoa,
minute,
whoa,
Mike.
whoa.
Jesus, you
wow,
left out the
wow.
most important part of this.
Okay.
The back of the truck is stacked with the dead bodies of all the men that Saab Q killed.
It's a callback to the truck
to
full
the
of deer.
Yeah.
So apparently, he's gonna like take him to the police station.
So by the way,
He's
when
like,
they ask, you killed all
yeah,
these guys.
we're turning ourselves in, and he's like, "Really? Because you could just."
He doesn't mind going back to
But
prison.
literally, they've killed every able-bodied man in their hometown.
Yeah.
And now they're gonna parade that through town.
Yeah.
That sawmill's got to close.
This is some
They
2000
just
Maniacs
killed
dark
everyone.
shit.
Yeah.
While they're blasting Evening Star on the radio, going through town with their
And
subwoofer
honestly,
and shit.
I hope you saved a bullet for me, Saab Q, because I don't need to hear this song again.
Yeah, you see Eastman trying to change the radio, and he slaps his hand. He's like, no.
You listen to this.
Yeah, so he's got all the dead bodies on the back of the truck. Evening Star.
Like, he really should have bought the full album on cassette, not just the single.
Yeah. Just
Rookie
Evening Star on
mistake.
both sides. Can you believe
mistake.
that shit? They didn't even do a B-side.
The thing was, no, it was a mixtape, and he's like, "All you got on it is Evening Star." He's like, "Yeah, filled up the whole tape,
That's
front
it.
and back." That's all
Made
I
it for
need.
my wife.
I'm a bad dad.
Really terrible at everything.
Yeah, I made it
Not
for my
anymore, he's
daughter.
not.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how it ends. That's Blastfighter. What do you guys think? Recommendations?
You know what? Yeah. It's
Yeah.
Saab Q, man.
Yeah.
And it's I like it about as much as I liked Massacre in Dinosaur Valley. I'm a big Michael Saab Q fan, it turns out.
Even though you never heard his voice, big fan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tanner?
I do enjoy this.
The version you watched?
The version I watched, because I feel like
brisk
really
70 minutes?
Honestly, the 73-minute version, all that added stuff seems like it might make it too long. I feel like my brisk version
when they adapted Donkey Kong to the NES, back in the day, they did take out a level.
Oh,
because there was 3 levels and they took out one of them. So you kind of watch like the NES version, like they took out the Donkey Kong level.
And I as a child I owned the Donkey Kong / Donkey Kong Jr. NES.
So you've never missed that 3rd level.
No, never missed it.
Exactly.
Never knew I needed it.
It
Still
sucks.
don't need it.
No, it's whatever.
Mike?
Oh yeah, of course, 100%.
Yeah, this one's high marks all around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was a fun movie.
It's like the first level of Donkey Kong. It's great, and you never get to that second level where it's like, okay, I can do this thing where you like unlock these stair things. Like, what the fuck's going on, man? It's not fun anymore.
Broke
I want
the formula.
barrels.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's good. It's good. I enjoy it. Saab Q is great. We'll be covering
I'm
his other
excited
2
to watch
movies.
his other 2 films.
Oh yeah, of course. And we'll find him one day selling his medical glass somewhere.
Like, we keep saying that, but I mean it. I want to find him. See if he'll talk to us. We're just going to stand outside his business, say anything style. Only we're going to play Evening Star.
Here's the thing is, Tanner and I are going to do that this weekend. We're going to ride around L.A., all around L.A., blasting Evening Star and the Blastfighter theme over and over, and maybe we'll attract him.
See if he pops up like a meerkat.
Yeah, I think it might work.
I'm certain it will work.
So
It's
do you
worth
guys,
a try.
You guys hear that sound? How do you think? Oh man, Bobby, you look like you're ready to go. How do you think Bobby and DeVito fit in the world of Blastfighter?
I feel like we go back to that mountain road, and we see that familiar van driving, and DeVito and Bobby riding in the front. DeVito goes, Bobby, this load of deer aphrodisiac is going to change everything. Our lives are going to turn around for the better. And Bobby goes, I don't know about that, because the brakes don't work.
Starlight. Tanner, what do you think?
I don't have one. I don't have one.
Okay, here, I'll do
I don't.
mine, and then
I don't.
maybe...
maybe I can riff.
Yeah, maybe
You go
maybe you
first,
come
all
up with another one. Okay, so here's the thing. You know Tiger can't go back to that town.
No.
And you know obviously it's going to all blamed on George Eastman. He's like, no, you're a good kid, Tiger. We know you're a good kid. You didn't really kill that guy. Actually, you did kill that guy, but it's all right. The DA's a real dick. So he goes off to a new state, and he's going to go live somewhere in the middle of nowhere again, right? He just picks Malibu, and he's going to live Matt Lattanzi style, and he's going to live in a teepee in Malibu and just kind of break away from the rest of the world. And then all of a sudden, within the first couple of days that he's there, he hears in the distance, and he looks around, and all of a sudden, you see an orange poof, and you hear, Dad?
All right, I just came up with this one all on my own. So at the end of this movie, as I was saying, every able-bodied man is dead in this small town of, I believe it was Clayton, Georgia. Mm-hmm. And
Sure.
Yeah, it was on a sign.
Georgia.
Yeah, Clayton Cafe.
Georgia City, Georgia. Yeah.
So now this town, famously, it's kind of like that Netflix show Godless, where this is a town, all the men are dead, only women are left. And so, the news does stories about it, it's Clayton, Georgia, the town of only women. That story, it makes the national news.
Yeah. That's
And
bound
now,
to attract something.
their theme song is no longer
Evening Star. It is. Met a girl, took her out in my wagon. I don't know the rest of the lyrics.
like a dip. And he goes into that store and he goes, you got baby bottle?
What you want a baby bottle for?
I like to fuck.
You like to fuck? No, he walks up to that little old lady. He's like, you into studs?
He's like, I'm sorry I asked. So thank you for joining us once again.
Yeah, on the Grindbin. You can find us, grindhousefilm.com, Twitter at GrindPodTheater. Where can people find you?
You can find my latest graphic novel, Junior Braves The Apocalypse, Volume 2.
Excellent.
At finer bookstores, including Barnes & Noble, and you can also get it on Amazon.com.
Yes. Hey, guess what? Go buy it at your local Barnes & Noble. Please go buy it there. Because it's better for Tanner sales.
It's better for me if a large book chain sells a lot of them, because then they can't return them.
Tanner, do you do that thing where you swing into Barnes & Nobles and sign your copies?
I have not done that yet, but
You're planning on it, though, aren't you?
I do that at comic book stores, where
That's cool,
if they
though.
have it, I'll walk in and be like, "Mind if I sell my book?"
I've had that happen before, where I've bought an author's book, and when I opened to the first page, he had come in there and signed
Nice.
it, and that's a hell of a feeling. That's finding a golden ticket in your Wonka bar.
Especially like the ones who do it in secret, like they don't
Yeah.
make a big deal. They just go in with a pen and deface the book.
Can't
return this now. Are you brave enough to go to your local Barnes & Noble to get your copy?
You do say, are you brave enough to buy it?
Yeah.
That's your tagline, right?
Yeah, that's
Pretty solid tagline.
now I am.
It should be from this point on.
I'm going to
Seriously,
be
though,
at a
check it out,
convention.
though.
Yeah.
It's a pretty great book.
Yep. And you can also... Oh, sorry. Is there
Thank you, sir.
anything...
Yeah.
Also, Codename Diamond Force.
Oh, Strike Team Codename Diamond Force is available on my website by michaeltanner.com. The Grindhouse Martial Arts Exploitation one-shot for a measly $5. You can get all the awesome Raw Force-inspired action.
Man, $5, that's it?
$5.
Steal it twice the price.
Yeah.
And you can join our Patreon for as little as $2 a month and hear all our bonus episodes. And we just released one about, a while ago. We'll probably have one out by the time this episode drops. But Boys Will Be Boys, another one.
Yeah, for
Bobby
summer
and I.
sequel month, we return to Boys Will Be Boys. Sort of a sequel for the mini-bin.
And we
Hell of
went
an
to
episode.
Mexico.
Yeah,
It
we
was
find
great.
out what happens when the boys get lost in Mexico.
Isn't that episode already up?
Yeah.
It is by now.
Oh, okay. Oh.
We're saying go back.
Wait, I thought it was
Go
already up
listen to
now.
it.
Now.
God damn, go listen to it.
Yeah, listen
$2
to
a
that
month.
shit.
Come on. What the
Plenty
fuck?
more stuff coming to the Grindbin mini-bin. We're going to have some full-length stuff coming up, too, in the future.
Yes, we are. We're also going to have our commentary for The Van. We're doing a commentary
At
for
long
The Van.
last.
Yeah.
The Patreon members voted for it, and we're doing that. So that's going to be fun.
Absolutely. And
Commentary
you,
track
too,
of
can
The
help
Van.
vote on future episodes if you join our Patreon.
And I think we'll probably have to do the version without the Every Girl Loves the Sound of a Zipper Coming Down one, because I don't know where you can find that one, actually. I don't think that one's on YouTube, because I'd like people to be able to sync it up so when they watch it, they'd be able to hear our dumbasses.
See, I've
talking
got a
about
hard
The
copy
Van.
of it, so I got to see if I have that in there.
Bobby, every copy of The Van's a hard copy.
Heyo.
Yeah. And, I've got nothing. As usual.
Oh, of course.
As
We
usual,
got
like
nothing.
us on Facebook, hate us on Twitter, be indifferent on Instagram.
Yeah, if you tweet at me, I'll probably like it.
It's true. He likes any attention he can get.
It's damn true.
Bobby, set it to party.
If you never rode west of the Arizona border, you can turn the other way, boy, but you never get far. You've been living a lie. If you want to see the wonders of the age, you must follow the evening star. Evening star. Shine a little heaven on a stranger with no dream where you are. You can see the loneliness I mean. And if I gotta fight, I will never play somebody else's game. I can follow the evening starlight. You never need somebody else's name if you follow the evening star. Have you ever known a sunset when the sky's on fire? How you went another day, boy? You'd be searching too far. Like the desert I rode on. Any memory is lost in the restless